with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Oh yeah, happy Masters Week. Now it really is here because the tournament has started and the scoring is low or high depending on how you view that kind of stuff. If you have a high ranking, a low ranking. Point being is I don't think we're going to get 20 under par like Dustin Johnson had in November, that's for sure. Some windy conditions. It looks firm out there, as we like to say in golf, on those greens. They're going to be tricky already. Phil Mickelson, 1 under par, 2 off the lead. The lead is 3 under. Hideki Matsuyama, who's always a good pick, underrated. I wish I maybe had picked Matsuyama because one of these days he's going to win these big ones. Leishman, Harmon, Zalatoris, 1 shot back. And Webb Simpson, former Players Champ, 1 shot back. And then we have a host of players at 1 under par. Jordan Spieth just threw 3 holes. He's 1 under, of course, coming off his win last week. We'll update you on how our picks are doing. What happened to Paul Casey? Paul Casey was at 3 under. Okay, he's 1 under through 13. He was at 3 under. He's one of my picks, I think.
How's my boy Lee doing?
Westwood was in some tree trouble early when I saw him. So
+5, Coos, +5 right now.
+5. Nice job. Good work, Austin Lane. Had a baby.
Yep.
Billy Horseshoe, by the way, coming off a big one, 2 over par. Like I said, scoring is not like 2 over par, 1 over par. That's not going to shoot you out of it at the Masters because the conditions are pretty tough. We'll see how the scoring goes the rest of the afternoon. Usually the conditions are easier in the morning than they are in the afternoon. We'll find out. Brent Martineau here at home going to I take the quickest path to the softball, baseball games I can, and home is it today. So on the road once again, and I just don't like Austin Lane very much. I'm going to see how long I can go without being in studio. I think it was last Thursday the last time I was in. Tomorrow I think I'll be on the road again. Monday should be on the road again. Maybe I'll be back in studio Tuesday. Not that you miss me, and if you're going to grab the camera like you did for Shock Your Mock, well, then I don't want to be in there. Because I don't know who you're going to grab next.
No, man, intensity is high. All we can hope for right now is that the internet holds up or the Wi-Fi holds up. We don't have any audio issues when you're on the road.
No, I'm at home, so this should be fine. I'm plugged in. It's a little easy. We've been pretty successful, right? I mean, we had the one show that was a little bit of a mess. So we'll be good. We have a lot of luck. Our hit rate is pretty good. For as much as we're on the road.
Sure.
So we certainly like that, appreciate that, and all the folks that help out from a technical standpoint, which means the Ethernet, basically, and Wi-Fi. So we appreciate all the towers that and satellites that exist. We've got the Masters to talk about. We will. A couple of Masters topics, which one you brought up I thought was pretty interesting. One I was thinking of this morning, and I don't know if I'm correct on it or not, but I want to get your take and everybody else's take on that. We begin with football, though, because that's what we do. We are 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, man. 3 weeks from today. The countdown is underway for sure. We've been talking about it for months. Everybody's been talking about it for months. But there is a little bit of Trevor Lawrence news. One, he's at Augusta. So he's taken in the Masters, Patrick Mahomes as well. Let's hope that's not the only time we put Mahomes and Lawrence in the same sentence. That would be good.
No,
right?
for sure.
If we can get the Mahomes-like play out of Lawrence, then this could be a very good run here in Jacksonville. So he's at Augusta. He's getting married this weekend. I wasn't quite sure if it was this weekend or next weekend. It's this weekend. Oh, yeah, it's Kuz getting married next weekend. Just about as much attention on Kuz's wedding as there is on Trevor Lawrence's wedding. I think we have a Kuz tracker along with a Trevor tracker. Not sure how that's going.
Kuz, anything up to date with the Trevor tracker? Hit us with it.
I will say, like, he's taking the wedding stuff a little more serious. They went and got facials last night. Like, I didn't know that was something we're supposed to do. Yeah. So they're
facials and
Justin
Bieber.
Oh man, he's just striking out with Austin right now.
I mean,
I've never had a facial. Have you?
No, man. Okay. Hey, I mean, I get it. You got to look good for your wedding.
If you're gonna be the face of the franchise, you want it to be facial.
You want to have a clean face. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Point. Very well done there, Kuz.
All right.
Very well done.
I'm going to let it slide. The whole Bieber thing, you know how I feel about that. But the facial thing for the wedding and for being like the number one pick, we'll let it slide this time.
Okay, so the other story there is not that he's just getting married, but on top of getting married, this week a lot of the draft prospects are in Indianapolis. Ian Rappaport's Rappaport reports this. Rappaport reports this. Nearly 150 NFL draft prospects currently in Indy for an in-person medical exam and physical for what is usually combine rechecks. Half the group has scans today, full exams tomorrow. The other half has scans tomorrow, exams Saturday. Mostly top 3 rounds plus medical risks. This is an important part of the process, Austin, which I kind of forgot about because there is no combine. And then Rappaport went on to say, presumptive number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence, won't be in Indy for the exams for a pretty good reason. He's getting married to his longtime girlfriend this weekend. Lawrence is recovering from a torn labrum in his left shoulder, but rehab is going very well. So that's the newsy update on Trevor Lawrence. He's getting married, skips the medical. I think what people say is, oh, really good move. Now skip the medical. I'm all right. I've had surgery. I think they'll get the medical sometime, don't you?
Well, yeah, and like as far as the medical is concerned at the combine, I mean, it doesn't matter anyways because it's not like 31 other teams got to see Trevor Lawrence's medicals because he's going number 1 overall. So the only team that's got to be concerned about the medicals is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So maybe Urban Meyer, when he's in attendance at the wedding, maybe they get like a little pre-wedding MRI or a post-wedding MRI. Urban Meyer makes sure everything's good to go. But you don't have to do that in Indianapolis. You can do that anywhere, literally, and just send it to Jacksonville. So it's all good. I'm not worried about that.
But listen, teams want that, and they want to check and check and check. These are big-time investments, millions of dollars, and jobs at stake in terms of who you pick. So I understand the importance of the medicals. In fact, next to the interviews, I think it's the most important part of the combine. Forget about the football stuff. I don't think that. I think it's interviews, getting to know a kid, asking them some things, maybe some bizarre questions that shouldn't be asked, but also these medicals I think are very important in this whole process. What's interesting here, Austin, is I love the fact, I've said this many times, Urban Meyer is not hiding from the fact that they are going to pick Trevor Lawrence. And so along the way, the conversations include, hey, what do you think about throwing a week early? And that way you can go have your surgery and recover faster. Okay, I'll do that, coach. No problem. Let's do it. I would assume some of these Zoom calls, which I know they've had at least a couple, have included how's the shoulder doing? How's the recovery going? And so all of this work, knowing that that's your guy, I think their medical side and all the whatever that goes into that and asks that has already been done. The Jags essentially, Austin, have had 3 months, to your point, to basically check all those things out.
Yeah, I mean, the health of Trevor Lawrence's shoulder, I think, is the least of the worries of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, obviously, that he's got to come back, make a full recovery, but I guarantee you that there's a good rapport right now of exactly how rehab is going, how the process is going, and most importantly, when he's going to be expected to start throwing a ball again, full speed in the kind of like a training camp setting. I
like what you've told us this in the past, though. Like, this medical poking and prodding is serious stuff, right? I mean, you've been through it. There's a lot that goes into it.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and I understand if you're going to give guys millions and millions of dollars, or for me a couple thousands here and there, you do what you got to do, right? And like if you buy a car, you test drive it, right? Now maybe you don't look underneath the hood, but you at least test drive it, you get a feel for it. So back in 2010, when I was going through my combine process, it's literally you standing there in front of a room of, basically 32 teams, and actually, no, I misspoke. It's like 4 rooms divided up into 32 teams. So like every room, if you do your math, there's got like 8 doctors in it. And you stand there like in your Under Armour spandex or whatever, and your shirt's off and everything. Well, I wasn't ashamed. I was all good. I was a defensive tackle or defensive end, for crying out loud. And, you essentially have 6 to 7 guys at a time poking and prodding at you, pushing you every which way direction, making sure your shoulders and the mobility is good, your knees are good, and all that stuff. And then that's just part of the process, right? So you go to 4 of those rooms and you do that 4 times, which can kind of be played out. And then there's also a little bit of some gamesmanship sometimes from different teams. Like, for instance, I had this like a minor just like knee injury. I think it was in high school. It would have been, and it wasn't even anything tore. I just kind of strained an MCL, but like somehow that got brought up. So then the Baltimore Ravens requested that I get a special MRI to check out my knee. Now, were they concerned about an injury that I didn't even tear? I literally just strained in high school. Maybe, but what my agent was telling me is the Ravens just kind of did that to kind of have a smokescreen a little bit, to say, oh, this guy's got to get some MRIs. He could be injury prone and all this stuff. And teams literally do that. teams will schedule you, MRI after MRI just to provide a smokescreen a little bit to kind of show maybe he's a little injury prone and word gets out to other teams. That's just kind of the competitiveness and the cutthroat nature that takes place at the combine between teams. Like, they take any advantage that they can get.
I don't feel like the Jaguars have missed on that. Like, I don't really feel like we've gone and said, man, didn't they check this guy out at the combine? Didn't they check this guy out in their evaluations from an injury standpoint? Yes, from a talent standpoint. Yes, from other things like even Justin Blackman's situation and others. But I don't believe that comes to mind. Instead, I think we look at the opposite, right? The big one with the Jags in the last decade is Myles Jack, one we just talked about yesterday. As there were a lot of people who said, no way, we ain't touching it. The Jags said, this looks okay to me. I'm willing to make the investment. But am I missing somebody there? I'm trying to think. Marquise Lee got hurt a bunch, but he was a mid-second round pick. I think that was a lot of soft tissue stuff, so I don't think that kind of would feed into this conversation. I don't remember somebody that they've drafted. Now, Dante Fowler Jr. tore his ACL on the opening weekend, but I don't think that's something that you would identify in the medical. I think that would just kind of happen sometimes, Austin. I don't think the Jags have like a bad MO on this front, and maybe most teams don't. I would think there's so much checking that if a guy gets hurt early on or is consistently hurt, it's probably more just bad luck than something that teams missed.
Yeah, Myles Jack's the guy that comes to mind for me. I know Juwan Taylor, there was some questions about, if he was hurt or not. That's why he
right.
slipped.
Yeah, the knee, I think it was. Right?
Late. Yeah, so there were some questions about him. I think Cam Robinson might have had something as well where he slipped. But Myles Jack's obviously the big one right now. How much of that was a smoke screen? How much of that was just one doctor's opinion on one different team? Who knows? But obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars maybe took a little bit of a risk. That risk has paid off because literally the only time we talked about Myles Jack's knee was when he got drafted. And besides that, I feel like it's he's been able to do his thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to move. I wonder if most teams don't miss. I mean, do rookies get hurt? Does it's become like a like you just said, you're talking about a knee strain that could develop into something else, right? Or there's something hidden that maybe because, like, you go to Murray State, you're not getting checked out maybe to the degree you might get checked out at Alabama. Is that fair?
I think I'm not going to go against, the team doctors at Murray State and athletic trainers. I thought they were fantastic. And now the people that I went to school with, I think one girl, she's on the Thunder right now, Oklahoma City Sun Thunder. There's another guy that's at Alabama. So, I think, our medical staff was great. And if we had an injury, we reported it. Now, each person's different where sometimes you want to put some dirt in it and not report it. But that wasn't due to the fact that we didn't have the facilities or the state-of-the-art equipment. I thought we had great stuff. And obviously, every injury that I sustained at Murray State, that was brought up at the combine from the NFL doctors. So I don't think that's really the case.
Yeah, okay. It's, I don't know enough about it. I just don't think that's something we've discussed over the years and saying, man, I don't know about this. Now, I will say this. The Jags overall have had a bunch of soft tissue issues and injuries over the years once they hit the practice field. That field has been vetted before, right? Even when you were playing, there was a bunch of those, and I think it was around the time you played or were done, they changed one of the turf fields to grass. They made that move. I think even Urban Meyer mentioned it at his introductory news conference about looking back at some of the injuries that this franchise has had. Can they do a better job preventing them? But I do feel like most coaches come in and say that, Austin.
Yeah, when we talk about soft tissue injuries, those can result from a lot of reasons. They can be a pre-existing condition. It can be from a lack of activity during the off season. But sometimes, guys, and I think it's made a lot of progress even the past couple of years. But some guys, guys will hire a trainer, but they're not training the proper stuff. Right, where they overdevelop maybe their quads or their hamstrings, and all of a sudden when you get out on the football field and you're going through a 2-hour practice, the overdeveloped part can overcompensate, and now you're tearing something. So there's a lot that goes into soft tissue injuries. Sure, it could be the field. Sure, it could be your workout regimen. You can't just really pinpoint one thing. But to me, teams that are on the same page in terms of their strength and conditioning program, and obviously being very vocal and keeping everybody informed, seem to have a lot better results than the teams that, I'm going to go work with my personal trainer over here. All right, I'm going to go work with this guy over here, because they're personal trainers. They're not personal football trainers. They're personal trainers. And maybe you go to school and get the degree and everything, but to me, there's a different power mechanism, and then there's different, just mobilities and movements that you have to master and that you have to work on in the game of football compared to just looking good on the beach.
Yeah. Kuz just a looking good on the beach guy. I hear you.
Get him, Kuz.
Go get him. Still the only guy that's on this show that's taken a picture with his shirt off on the beach and sent it around.
Kuz, we got any pre-wedding beach photos or post-wedding, honeymoon pics? Can we expect those?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We're still going through the process of whether or not I'm allowed to have my phone on me while we're in Mexico.
No way.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, because I want to take pictures, and she's like, well, then we're going to get a camera, because she's very against – she thinks if I'm going to have my phone, then I'm going to be checking emails or playing phone game apps.
Let me – two questions for you, Kuz. You're staying at a three questions, Kuz.
Oh boy.
You're staying at a resort.
Yes.
Are you going to go venture out in the city?
Probably not.
You're going to stay directly at the resort? You're not going to venture out?
I'm going to go from the hotel room to the bar, to the beach, to the bar, to the hotel room.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Have you seen Sicario?
No.
Keep your phone on you. That's all I'm going to say.
And that's kind of been a little bit of what I was saying too.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of picking up what you're putting down there.
There you go. No, I'm kidding, dude. If you're at the resort, you're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I still also want to be able to know what time it is, and I'm not going to wear a watch. So
Sure. And you got to keep your NBA updates. There's a lot of stuff happening, Kuz.
Right.
How
can I
I think that's what she's trying to avoid is the NBA update.
Well, she doesn't want the tweets. She doesn't want the checking emails, making sure everybody's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a feel. What I'm really stressed out about, and Brent, you'll be able to relate to this, is how many emails I'm going to have when I come back.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's going to be it's going to be a whole day process just to catch up.
Yeah, there'll be how long are you going for? How long are you going to be
my last day before I leave is going to be Tuesday of next week. We leave at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll still have we'll still be in Raleigh, so I can check my emails and kind of stay ahead of it.
Yeah.
But then I have an entire week.
Yeah, so you're going to probably have, when you get back, about 550 emails. Here's the thing, about
it's gonna be more.
7 of them will be
that's the other part. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be close to 1,000, and only 7 will be ones that are important.
I might just send you an email every day or a couple just to kind of load the box a little bit.
Prime the pump.
Just to keep in the loop in case you do check.
Yeah.
There's no way, by the way, Austin, we making this bet right now? There is no way he puts the phone down for a week. You don't even put the phone down for a day. The phone will be handy.
No, you're going to check your phone, Kuz.
And what I was saying is, I really do want to take photos while we're there, and why not just use my phone? It's a nice camera anyway, so, I don't want to, purchase even just one of those old phones.
Like the Kodak or whatever? Yeah, man.
I'm not doing that.
Nah, dude, come on. What are we talking about here? Yeah. You can have your phone.
Yeah.
So, I hope. I don't know. Or else we'll see. It could be
how it goes.
honeymoon from hell. Who knows what's going to happen?
That's good. We're going to go with that next week.
Brent, did you go on
a
honeymoon?
Today. He's on the honeymoon from hell.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Cancun.
Ah, nice.
I don't even know if they had cell phones then.
That's essentially where we're going. I mean, Cancun. It's like Cancun, Tulum, right in that area.
We went to, gosh, I can't even remember the name of the resort, but it was one of those all-inclusive things, so that was cool.
Oh,
nice.
Ate crazy and could drink whatever you wanted at the time.
Like that.
That's what I'm excited about.
I haven't been to one of those since.
Nicole said she's excited to go.
I haven't been on one yet,
because
so
she's never been to a swim-up bar. That's what she's most excited about.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Those are fun.
Those are dangerous because you don't. You'll get out of the pool and you'll actually realize how much you've had to drink because you've been just floating there.
More dangerous, drinking on a plane or drinking at a swim-up bar?
Oh, for sure, swim-up bar.
You kidding me, though?
I
don't know, man.
Never drank on a plane.
You kidding me?
I've never had more than one drink on a plane.
Oh, dude.
I've never had a drink on a plane.
Wow.
I would say drinking on a plane is a little more deadly just because obviously you're just sitting in your seat, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you get up, you have to go to the baggage check and all that,
And
and
you're
like
like,
you can't.
whoa.
Whoa, it's like wow, 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 wow.
So,
Yeah.
The problem,
Like, at least like you're in a pool
Yeah.
floating. It's
See,
almost peaceful.
the problem I have with the airplane part is I have a weird problem with going to the airplane bathrooms. And if you're drinking, obviously you're going to have to go
What
to
do
the
you
bathroom.
mean you got a weird problem with it?
I don't want to use it.
Hey, try being 6'6" and talk to me about having some problems with an airplane
see-
bathroom.
See, you have actual problems. I just
Oh
have
no, I
this,
just hold it, dude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to drink like 4 or 5 beers and be holding it for the whole ride.
What are you drinking on a plane?
Who's that?
Either
Me?
one of you. Yeah,
Yeah,
like drinking
whatever.
Like
Beer,
liquor
whiskey.
or-
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Airplane bottle.
Yeah,
Do a
airplane
shot.
bottles.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny is like we fly Southwest all the time. We always have those Southwest like coupons for a free drink. And I think just a lot of the times we've been flying with the kids or I'm flying with work. I mean, that's
Well,
the only reason I don't.
I was going to
Although
say, that's 2
everybody-
reasons to drink, in my opinion.
That's a good point. That's true, because, it is pretty amazing when you're on one of those like 7 a.m. flights and the person next to you orders a drink.
Well, there's no laws at the airport. You know
Yeah.
that. It's just.
Well, there's one time for a bachelor party, I went with my friend, and he was part of like the Delta Sky Club or whatever.
Oh,
Hey, you ever been
yeah.
a Delta Sky Club?
Yeah.
No,
Dude,
we used
free
to go,
drinks and
remember
stuff?
Ryan O'Halloran was a part
Yeah.
of that, so we'd go to like the airport with him, and he'd go off to the Sky Club, and we'd
Dude,
just go.
it's like a fraternity, man. Like they're getting wild over there, and I got like the backstage pass. I felt like an important person.
That's funny. The honeymoon from hell gets going soon for Coos. A couple more days. You're going to have a blast, Coos.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to review about the wedding for the next few shows, though. We'll be back. Hey, I got a topic today about Urban Meyer. And it was a picture that I saw that kind of started this thought. And I think because of this, he is the most unique coach the Jags have had in franchise history. And it's not just because he's making his NFL debut and coming from college. Jags had that, remember, with Tom Coughlin. So we'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Talking a little Urban Meyer next here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Another warm one today under partly sunny skies, highs in the mid-80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks Arrest Training Helpline for all you newbies out there, where staying away from safe touch houses is not just a motto.
It's a golden rule.
Correct. Today, we'll point out the differences in video surveillance systems. First, the ding-dong doorbell camera.
Simple, easy to install, and easy to hack.
Yep, you know the news stories about hackers and employees hacking into those do-it-yourself video cameras.
But not with Safe Touch.
Right. SafeTouch has multiple safeguards, including encrypted technology, which protects it from hackers.
Plus, now Safe Touch offers advanced video surveillance systems with interior, exterior, and 24/7 video storage.
Just one more reason we always stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses. Tattoo that on your brain, newbie.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watch Tanika Hughes and John Bachman on Action News Jax at 5, 6, and 11.
We make it a point to cover important local news you need to know about.
Perspective is important. It's not just what happened, it's the reason why it happened and how that impacts you.
Plus, it's where you'll find the Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is always changing, and my forecast will help you plan your day and week ahead.
Watch and you'll see why CBS 47 and Fox 30 is local coverage you can count on.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Austin Lane.
I had braces. I still have my permanent retainer in. It's been knocked out twice.
Brent Martineau.
So it's not stuck in there.
No, it's not stuck in there.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I don't think proving it for me is the motivation. Like, I still want to play. You know, I got like a little sickness in me that just wants to throw a freaking spiral, you know what I mean? Also about football, once you stop, you can't go back and do it. I got some more football in me, not a lot, and I know that, but what I got left, I'm gonna give everything I got.
I'll let you see if you can get that one, Austin.
Thomas.
Very good.
Yep. Didn't he say the only reason why he's still playing is so he can go to Disney World for free?
Yes,
I thought that's what he said.
Like Tom needs anything for free.
I know, man. Insane.
I think what Tom Brady said there is really interesting. It's not that he's got football left in him, but he knows once he stops, he can't go back, right? He just can't go back to it. And that's I think, why overall athletes hang on. The camaraderie, the competition, everything else. But you know once it's over at that level, you can't go back. I can go back and play a pickup game at the Y. I can go back and play a round of golf. I can go play a media league softball league if I want. You can't go back and play that level of sport. And so...
Well, I mean, yeah, especially at the quarterback position, but Gronk did.
Yeah, he did, but don't you get the sense that...
Favre did.
Don't you get the sense he retired with the idea that he was maybe going to come back? Like with one eye open, and he's 30 years old. I mean, Tom's now talking about a guy being 43 years old.
Oh, no, for sure. Like for Tom Brady, I mean, yeah, what he said is 100%. When he chooses to walk away, there's no coming back from it. I don't care how many avocado smoothies you drink. You just, it's just... there's no way. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. Like, what's interesting is I just threw a blanket statement out there. I said, I think that's why most athletes hang on for as long as they do. Gronk wasn't hanging on. he actually got out somewhat early, and we've had the conversation of, I wonder if we see more of this. Take a little bit of hiatus, especially in football when you're 29, 30, 31 years old. Say, hey, I'm going to give my body a little bit of a break here. It needs it, instead of just trying to complete the rat race every offseason just to get it almost back to where it should be. Well, he gave it a complete break, got back to the best it's been probably in 5 years. I'm just guesstimating. And then gave it a go again. So we almost wonder if more people will do that, especially if you're pretty banged up. And in the sport of football, you can get pretty banged up. So I do think there are other reasons why people retire, but especially those guys that you'll wonder, like, why is Ben Roethlisberger still playing? Could he have retired? Yes. Why is he still playing? Because of exactly what Brady said, in my opinion. He knows when it's done, it's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and I think, with Big Ben, too, well, at least the past couple of years, he's had some pretty good offensive weapons. So it's like you don't just want to walk away from that. Like, I think if Roethlisberger was playing in the Jets and they're in rebuilding mode, he'd probably walk away. But, it's always that allure of the Lombardi trophy that, that they keep dangling in front of your head, and you want to get another one for Big Ben. So, I think just having quality teams, having a great coach, and sometimes coming close, sometimes underachieving with injuries or whatever the case may be. But like that, all those things combined, it obviously makes you want to stick on for as long as you can.
Yeah, I just put something out there, man. I was thinking about Urban Meyer today. It was actually last night. I saw a tweet. I think the Jags or AEW. Mike Tyson was part of the AEW festivities last night. And saw this tweet with Urban Meyer and Mike Tyson. What a duo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very interesting. Like, what was said? I want to know.
Well, and a fun fact, too, talking to Tony Khan yesterday, he said that Urban Meyer is not a big wrestling fan by any means, but when he found out that Mike Tyson was going to come to AEW, Urban Meyer reached out and said, hey, I want to go meet him and I want to go see that. And I guess he did the same thing with Shaq as well.
Okay, and that makes sense to me, right? I mean, what makes these guys great at what they were? Urban Meyer's probably always trying to tap into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at this is where I'm coming from today on this topic. I look at Tom Coughlin, Jack Del Rio, Mike Mularkey, Gus Bradley, Doug Marrone. All different from the coaching ranks. This is not about coaching style. This is not about how good you are as a coach. I think the closest one of those gentlemen to Urban Meyer and what he is probably Del Rio, who you played for. So here's where I'm coming from. When I see Urban Meyer retweet a story that actually we did on CBS 47 and Fox 30 about a little girl playing football against the boys, I see Urban Meyer taking this picture with Tyson. I see Urban Meyer I think recently with Dr. Green, superintendent in Duval County. I see Urban Meyer in the hunt, if you will, on Jaguars.com and kind of this transparency that we're seeing. I see a guy that really understands, and we've talked about this a lot, branding and the logo and pushing not only Jacksonville and the Jaguars around here, but across the league. Much to the same way Shad Khan has wanted to do and made that a bigger brand, even more from a global standpoint. But I think he understands that from the college game. See, the game changed. ESPN helped change college football and college basketball, and he welcomed ESPN to Gainesville, a little bit behind the scenes somewhat, a little bit more at Ohio State. What did that do? That showcased the program to recruits. He would join the set of on a national championship weekend if his team wasn't playing. Nick Saban now does that. These guys know how to brand their program. And I think the combination of that with the fact that, in my opinion, he understands the modern athlete better than maybe some of these other guys have. And you and I have talked about this, Austin, a lot. Even since you hung it up, the modern athlete seemingly has changed in such a short time. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like this collection of – I'm not saying he took a picture with Mike Tyson and let it go out there because, well, he just wanted to be wearing a Jaguars logo. I think what you just said is right on. He probably wants to tap into the brain of Tyson a little bit and what made him great, or maybe he just thought it was cool just to meet Mike Tyson. But I saw that picture, and I'm like, he's hanging around Mike Tyson. He's got a Jags logo on. That's Urban Meyer, one of the biggest names in football. And I just think he gets that part of it. I think it's more than X's and O's now. It's about a brand, and especially here in Jacksonville, one that's been under the radar, one that's kind of had a losing brand. I think he's like the perfect person right now for that part of it. We'll see what happens on the field. We'll see his coaching ability, his transition to the NFL. But I think all those other things, this guy is different. Coughlin, first of all, didn't feel like he had time for any of that stuff. I thought Del Rio had a little bit of that in him. It was a different age, especially early on for Del Rio, because social media wasn't what it was even just some 10, 12 years ago. Gus was a player coach, but he wasn't locked into all that stuff outside. He was living in his bubble inside Jags headquarters.
Well, yeah.
I think. And Malarkey, okay. I think there were some things that Gus didn't even know probably was going on outside the building because he's so locked into football.
I disagree. I have a great Gus Bradley story. So back in – and to answer your question, yeah, I do agree with you. I think Urban Meyer is definitely different than the other names that you've mentioned. In terms of, the social media savviness and just kind of being out there representing the Jaguars. But at the same time, I do respect the game of Gus Bradley and what he brought to the table, too, because back in 2013, during the springtime, Kenny Chesney was doing this tour, and I forgot what it was called. It was like the Pirates and the Poets tour. Okay. And what he did, it was put on by Coors Light or something, where he would go to dive bars and just show up. And it was kind of like they would sell 200 tickets, and then he would play for them. Well, Kenny Chesney was playing at Freebird Live. Word got out, and all of a sudden tickets were the hottest thing in town. Kenny Chesney's kind of whatever to me, but I wanted to see him at Freebird because back, if you remember Freebird was the best venue in Coos. Maybe you've been there before, too. You can attest to this. It was my favorite spot to see a show. It was kind of like that dive bar feel of a little bit, but it was acoustically, it was great, and it's a great spot to see this show. So try getting tickets. Obviously, they sold out in the matter of a couple seconds. So I'm at the stadium. I think we're doing a spring workout or something like that, and everyone's talking about it. And I overhear that they got Gus Bradley and Todd Wash tickets to go see Kenny Chesney at Freebird. And I'm like, well, hey, go ahead and spend a little, wealth my way. I mean, I don't really know Gus Bradley yet, but I'm like, hey, if you want to take me with you, it's all good. Unfortunately, they couldn't get any more tickets, but I have it on good authority that night that Kenny Chesney came to Jack's Beach, played at Freebird, and in a crazy crowd of 200 people, I'm pretty sure Todd Wash and Gus Bradley were there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and listen, I'm not saying he never went out anywhere or did anything fun. That's not. I just don't know. Here's my correlation to that. I think if Urban goes out to one of those things right now, the players, all this stuff, he wants to almost take the picture with the Jags logo on and push the brand. Gus Bradley at the time went to the show with Todd Wash, all that stuff, but I don't think he was saying, hey, Kenny Chesney, let's come over and take a picture, or even if they asked, we're in the Jag stuff. I think he was probably a little bit more maybe under the radar. And I bet there are times, by the way, Urban Meyer's under the radar. I just think he knows it's an important part of it right now. I think the game has changed, the league has changed, the players have changed, and this is an organization that hasn't won very much. I think here in Jacksonville it's a little bit different. I think the guys in Buffalo have to do that sometimes. I think there are some organizations that don't have to do that. But I think he's so savvy with that stuff, man. The media savvy, the branding savvy. He's bringing that element of the college feel, and he did it at Florida. He was one of the trendsetters in that. I mean, he wasn't the first, but he was okay with that stuff, and that's elevated now over the last 15 years, from Saban to Ryan Day at Ohio State now to whether it's a Texas Longhorns thing or you name it. People are more willing to let that national media in to see it. And I think he's bringing that part in. Again, we're talking about an NFL now that's very secretive, right? We kind of wonder, okay, what are they doing behind closed doors? I think he's opening up those doors. And by the way, I'm saying all this in a positive way. I think it's kind of cool. And I think it's pretty neat that he gets it. And I think that it's going to be a different twist to the whole thing. I think Urban really gets that and has a feel for that better than any coach in Jags history. And really, maybe the other guys are just like, I don't really care about that.
I think Urban Meyer, he's doing the hard work, trying to get people excited for Jaguars football, and he's doing a great job at it. But this is the beauty of the sport of professional football, where you can be an old school guy and rule with an iron fist, and if you are successful, you'll have a place. You can be the most player-friendly coach in the entire world, and you can have a place. You can be like Urban Meyer, and you could have a place. But at the end of the day, as long as you're winning football games, you're all good.
Yeah, true.
You know, if you're not winning football games, you know, there's only so much clout that's going to bring you. But if you're winning football games, well, then you're all good to go.
By the way, speaking of winning football games, Urban Meyer era, Trevor Lawrence era, season tickets for the Jags renewal ends tomorrow, I believe, before they start opening up. I might have done mine today. Renewed the season tickets for the kiddos and Steph. So check that out and check it off the list if you haven't done it yet. If you're going to do it by tomorrow. Just a friendly little PSA there. Sure, the Jags should love me for that, right? Helping them sell tickets.
Jaguars corporate show, Brett Martineau, in full effect.
Hey, I'm just here for you.
There it is.
Not you, Austin.
No. I know.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm here for you.
I know.
I'll be here for you when we get back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The cause for Tiger Woods' traumatic car accident was released today. Here is Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
The primary causal factor for this traffic collision was driving at a speed unsafe for the road conditions and the inability to negotiate the curve of the roadway. Estimated speeds at the first area of impact were 84 to 87 miles per hour, and the final estimated speed when the vehicle struck the tree was 75 miles per hour. There were no citations issued, and there are no signs of impairment.
And ex-Florida State wide receiver Travis Rudolph is being charged with first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder with a firearm after a double shooting that left one dead. Rudolph's time in the NFL was short-lived, but he achieved viral fame after befriending a Tallahassee middle school student who was sitting alone at lunch. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
How many teams really need to change the starting quarterback position? That list is probably 4 or 5 teams.
They are.
Washington, Chicago. Let's throw Carolina in there, even though they have a starter. Patriots is 4. Who else?
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair. All one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees, too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine?
because I want to go to a concert with my friends in a full arena.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
You've been wanting a new ride, right? But you can't find what you're looking for? Well, check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. They have over 400 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from. Worried about your credit? Well, don't be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Stick to your 2021 New Year's resolutions. Commit to fitness with Body Armor Sports Drink. Buy $20 worth of Body Armor products and get $10 in fitness cash to one of your favorite brands by uploading your receipt on BACommitToFit.com. Body Armor available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Purchasing home and auto insurance? Do it the Simply way with Simply IOA. Compare quotes and buy a policy online or over the phone. Search Simply IOA or call 844-TALK-TO-SIMPLY. Simply IOA. Insurance the Simply way.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
I'm still going down numerous rabbit holes, and I will never stop, not only to win golf tournaments, but to definitely win this tournament. I mean, this has been on my radar since I was a kid, and now that I've accomplished winning the U.S. Open, this is the next goal for me, and I will not stop my pursuit of knowledge of the game, knowledge of the body, knowledge of the golf swing, to give myself the best opportunity to win. At the end of the day, it comes down to execution. You got to be able to go out there and hit a great shot and execute when the pressure comes around. So it's funny you say that, because I can give myself the most advantages all day long, but if I don't go out there and just execute, it doesn't really mean much.
That is Bryson DeChambeau talking about winning the Masters, and he's not off to a good start. 3 over par in round 1. There is some bad scoring going out there right now at Augusta National, as the conditions are not easy for the best players in the world. Brian Harman, the lefty, 3 under par. Hideki Matsuyama, 3 under par. Patrick Reed just birdied 17 to get in the tie for the lead. Former Masters champ with 1 hole to play. Zalatoris, Webb Simpson, Lowry, a couple under par, 1 back. There's a host of players like John Rahm and Justin Rose at 1 under. Paul Casey, Kevin Kisner even. But it's really the story of guys that are now over par, like Phil Mickelson, Tony Finau, 1 over, Morikawa, 1 over. Koepka, 2 over, although that's not a bad round considering he had not played at all and he's coming off surgery. Dustin Johnson, last year's champ, 2 over par, 74 today. He is done. Billy Horschel, Fleetwood, DeChambeau, 3 over. Justin Thomas, 3 over after 7 holes. That's my champion this week. Rory McIlroy, 4 over par. Still looking for the elusive green jacket. We'll keep you updated on round 1 of the Masters. Speaking of scores, and you brought this up, Austin, when we were talking about the show today, and I feel like we've said this from time to time over the course of this NBA season, but does anybody even know the Utah Jazz, Phoenix Suns, exist. We had this conversation and great debate about LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson. But this is on a different level. It's like they're the greatest. Well, I shouldn't say Phoenix in that sense, but Utah might be like the greatest team that gets no love. Can you think of a team that's having that good of a season with that kind of record and what they've done and not got a lot of attention in sports? I mean, I'm sure we could probably point to a hockey team in the NHL, but that would never happen in Major League Baseball. It doesn't feel like. I don't think it would ever happen even in the NFL. Just not a lot of love for Utah because everybody else is talking about Brooklyn and the Lakers and all these other teams.
Well, it's insane because it's really Utah and Phoenix. Because right now, Utah and Phoenix have the best records of the NBA. One team is 38-13, the other team is 36-14. So those are the two best records in the West. But we still talk about the Clippers, and we talk about the Nuggets, because they may have the MVP candidate, and we talk about the Lakers as LeBron coming back. Talk about the Trailblazers and Dame time. You can talk about Dallas Mavericks and Luka. Then obviously on the East, you got the Nets, 76ers, and Bucks, and they're popular teams in their own right. But it's baffling to me that, and it's not for a lack of stars, I feel like, especially on the Suns when you got Chris Paul playing at a very high level, and you obviously have Devin Booker as well. So it's not a lack of stars either. It's just the fact that, nobody seems to be talking about how good right now the Suns and Jazz are playing, and it's a little baffling to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, too. I mean, Utah has plenty of really good players on their team and star potential as well. So I don't understand it. I guess, well, I do understand it. It's a little bit of the ESPN machine, I think, at times. Who's ESPN talking about, regardless of record? And a little bit of this might be even because the NBA regular season, it's kind of get into the postseason, and then it's like a second season that lasts 3 months. So that's when it all begins. And so when you're positioned nicely and you're going to make the playoffs, it's almost like, well, who cares what their record is unless they're chasing history and going to win 70 games. Then those teams get a ton of attention. But I do think this has a little bit of the ESPN syndrome in it, in our sports culture and society in it. And that is, hey, every time you talk about the NBA right now, you're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. From Kevin Durant to James Harden to Kyrie Irving, whether they're in the game, out of the game, one's hurt, one's not, one's coming back, one just put up another triple-double. Occasionally we'll sneak in a little Russell Westbrook chatter because he just had a triple-double with 21 assists. But this is kind of what I was talking about months ago, even with Zion Williamson. There's so much of the heavy star talk, LeBron, of course, front and center along with Anthony Davis, that sometimes these other stories in the NBA, they just get smushed, man, and forgotten about.
Yeah, I also think, too, it's the fact that, star power is probably the most prevalent in the NBA. There's a lot of household names. And, yes, the Phoenix Suns have Chris Paul, and they have Devin Booker. But, besides that, Jay Crowder, Ayton, they aren't the household names. And if you look at the Jazz, okay, you got Conley, you got Gobert. Is he hurt right now, Kuz, or is he playing?
Playing.
He's playing, yeah, so you got Donovan Mitchell. But, even those guys, they're great players. But, in the realms of trending on Twitter,
yeah,
no, in the realms of that Zion capability, do we say? That Zion star power?
Yeah, they're not selling jerseys.
Yeah, exactly. So that's got something to do with it as well, I think.
I'll tell you this, and I don't know if you agree, because you're 10 years younger than me. But you say the Jazz, Suns, Clippers, Nuggets, and I'll give you the 4 top teams in the East, the Nets, 76ers, Bucks, Hornets. In my NBA lifetime, 7 out of 8 of those teams, and really probably all 8, maybe you put the 76ers out of this, they're all bottom feeders most of the time in the history of the last 25, 30 years in the NBA.
Sure.
You know? So you're like, well, those teams can't be any good. They always stink.
But they're definitely teams to take seriously, though, because keep in mind, I think if you go back a couple years and the Raptors are in the playoffs, not too many people can name the entire starting lineup of the Toronto Raptors besides Kawhi Leonard when they won a championship as well.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's an interesting point. And I think there's a lot of wealth in the NBA. And I'm not talking money. I'm talking about star power and good teams. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, so I've been meaning to ask you, how's your mom like a new smartphone?
She loves it. Got like 5,000 pictures of her cat already.
And how's the Safe Touch security app working?
Now that thing's amazing. Anytime she goes somewhere, she can just open up the app and check on her house.
That's why they say, with Safe Touch, you're never home alone and you're never away from home.
Yeah, the other day she was at the nail salon when she opened up the Safe Touch app and caught Mr. Tinkles living up to his name.
Well, never away from home. You know, I miss the good old days of casing a house so you know when the owners are away.
Yeah, well, with Safe Touch, those days are gone.
Good for your mom, bad for us crooks.
Just another reason to stick to the Crooks and Russ Golden Rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Simple as a flip phone.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer. Smoothie King is blending goodness to fuel your greatness. They make sure every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses whole fruits and only organic veggies. You'll never find any sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives in the smoothies. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of the blends. Skip the line and place your order online now at smoothieking.com for contactless pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work and then bam, your whole life changes. You're injured and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, it is day one of the 2021 Masters, live on ESPN TV, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Defending champ Dustin Johnson, 3 bogeys and a double bogey during today's opening round 74. He is 5 strokes back of leaders Hideki Matsuyama Patrick Reed and Brian Harmon. Ohio State will have a second pro day next Wednesday, giving 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan and GM John Lynch a chance to see quarterback Justin Fields in person. They were unable to attend Fields' first pro day as they were at Alabama's pro day to watch QB Mac Jones. Both are in the conversation for the Niners with the 3rd overall pick in this month's NFL draft. ESPN New York host Chris Canty.
Listen, I got to trust Kyle Shanahan. There's nothing that he's done as a head coach that would lead me to believe he doesn't know how to evaluate talent at the position. And then watching what he did with Matt Ryan back in 2016 with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have the ultimate faith that he is going to make the right choice when it comes to who they're going to take at number 3.
Chris Canty on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. UCLA signed men's basketball coach Mick Cronin to a 2-year extension through the 2026-2027 season.
Download the DraftKings app and use code CJR to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I feel like there's been a lot of looking back to try to go forward instead of just saying, okay, this is where we are. This is the present. This is what you've got to work with. Let's go forward from here. There's been a lot of, oh, well, back in 14 I did this, or look at this. It's like, well, no, that's a long time ago now, and you can't change the past. You can't, it's not as if you can just magically delve back into it and bring it all back to life. So, Pete and I had a good conversation about that. This is me. This is what you got to work with, and we go from here.
That is Rory McIlroy, and very interesting perspective because everybody wants to go back and wonder and see how many chances Rory McIlroy has blown to win the Masters or get the career Grand Slam, and he's really struggled in the opening rounds of majors. I saw a stat since 2015 major tournaments. He's 32 over par in the first round, and he's like 64 under par in rounds 2 through 4. So I think you can stop right there at why he's not winning some of these tournaments. But I love Rory McIlroy, man. I think from an athlete perspective, he puts it in perspective very well. And the maturity of Rory McIlroy, I think, is fantastic. What's happened to him on the golf course, I can't figure out. I don't understand why he's where he's gone. I had a theory back a handful of years ago when he kind of slipped down and the game fell apart for a little bit. And I thought he was just young and kind of fell in love with being a star a little bit and all that stuff. That was just a theory of mine. I have no idea. And then there was kind of this next phase of his life. And he started playing better golf, and now he's kind of back to not playing great golf. So just the nature of the sport. We saw Jordan Spieth do it. Ricky Fowler's in the middle of it. McIlroy has gone through it a couple of times. A lot of pressure on these guys to perform, and there's more good players than ever before. 3 under is the lead at the 2021 Masters. Just a friendly reminder, this week, $69 to buy the Dream 18 card. That's down almost $30 from its normal price this week during Masters Week. Go check out ESPN690.com and get discounted golf and some free stuff as well from businesses in the area. It's the best value in town, the best value around, no doubt, the Dream 18 card, ESPN690.com. Brent Martin along with Austin Lane. Austin, I thought you had a good Masters topic. Not that I judge your topics.
Yeah.
Because if you judged mine, I don't know where we'd be.
Right.
Although I reached out to a lot of the folks in Shock Your Mock so I could send them a shirt.
Nice.
I did that today.
Nice.
The customer service department was at work this morning.
Right on.
Here on ESPN 690. And John Hopkins, and I can't remember exactly what day this week. I think you shocked his mock.
Sure.
He's over in the UK.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was kind of – I'll tell you what's interesting about this whole deal is I get addresses to send the shirts out is we got folks all over the place.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about John, he was like, listen, don't worry about sending me a shirt, man. I'm in the UK. And so I said, hey, if you can listen in the UK, I can send a shirt
I like
to
that.
the UK.
I like that.
And he also added, you might like all that, but you might not like this.
Okay, careful.
He also added,
Careful.
more golf, less anime. Like that guy, John.
I'm gonna need to see the receipts for that because I don't believe you. And make sure you tell John that since he sent us his address, he's going to be qualified for a bunch of telemarketers and things like that because that is part of Shock Your Mock as well. You also start reading the fine print before you send me your mock drafts.
Yeah, what am I going to do with your address? Well, that is up to us. But send your Shock Your Mocks in, hashtag Shock Your Mock. We got that segment coming up in just a little bit. But anyway, you asked a question. It's a good one. What's the best outcome for the Masters? I feel like we've asked this before, like who's the best winner that would get the world talking? Golf world, transcend the golf world? I feel like we've this before, and it's been more important to do this before because you kind of wondered, okay, interesting turn. Tiger's out of the sport with injuries or this and that's happening. Who's going to be the next star? People are getting older. I don't know if I feel that way this time around. I don't think golf needs a certain person to win. So I just want to at least give my 2 cents on that and say, I don't think for this question, which is a great question, I don't think golf needs it. But you can always ask, who do you want? And we ask that in all sports. Who do they want to win the Super Bowl? Who do you want to win in the World Series, right? I mean, what's better for baseball? Well, what's better for golf? Who is it to win the 2021 Masters? I think it's a good question, Austin. I don't know if your mind was in a certain place. Did you have somebody?
Yeah, to me, if Bryson DeChambeau was to win the Masters, that would be a lot better for golf than if a guy like Patrick Reed or Webb Simpson, in my opinion, won it.
I would agree with that. I think DeChambeau is the one guy right now that probably fits in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think, one, you'd wonder if they had a broad enough jacket when they put it on them. And two, I'll just give you Steph's parents are here in this week, and they're not, like, you can kind of, I sense they're not big fans of DeChambeau. Now, I say that, but we just know the DeChambeau, kind of what we see on the golf course. Does he rub you the wrong way or whatever? There's all sorts of athletes that do that to folks. But that's kind of the view of DeChambeau by many. Others love him because he's the home run hitter and he's kind of changed the game and he's got his own little style. And so he's your polarizing player. Patrick Reed's a polarizing player, but you almost have to know the story. DeChambeau jumps out at you as the polarizing player. He looks a little smug at times. Nobody else is doing. Some people don't like that, right? Especially in the sport of golf. So I think the answer to your question is probably who you just said in DeChambeau. Although he won the U.S. Open, and I think he's now been a story for well over a year, that I wonder if even it would carry as much weight. But it is winning the Masters, so maybe it would carry weight.
I think it would. When you talk about, a solo sport like golf, or if you want to compare it to, like, the X Games and snowboarding or skateboarding, like, what brings eyes, what brings attention is something different. And something that kind of pushes the needles in terms to where the sport is going. And I think when you talk about Bryson DeChambeau, we've been over this story a million times where obviously he put on the weight and now he's hitting the long ball. But, like, that's somebody changing the game of what we think golf is. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden it's like, power is king, right? Like, we weren't talking about that a few years ago. At least I didn't hear about that kind of narrative.
Not in this kind of sense. I mean,
Sure.
Not since Tiger Woods kind of came along way back a couple of decades ago.
Yeah, so when we have a guy that can come in and say, hey, the sport's taking a new turn. It's going into to a new realm now of where power can pay off. Look, I have my green jacket to prove it. Like, to me, that would be great for golf. Like, I think you had something when you had Bubba Watson, because once again, Bubba Watson was a different type of cat. The way that he won it was different, right? I mean, in the fact that he's left-handed, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That's different. His style and swag is different. And that's hard to do in the sport of golf where everyone, for lack of a better word, kind of looks the same. But when you got a guy who seems to be bigger than everybody else, and when you have a guy who plays differently than everybody else, well, then you got something special there. So, yeah, I think Bryson DeChambeau would be the answer where if he was to win, I think it, and not to say it would take golf into a new stratosphere, but I think that it would bring a lot more eyes and a lot more conversation to the sport. Not like it really needs it per se. I'm just saying I think it would help.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, man. I mean, I think really the only thing that would top that, I'm just looking at the field and saying, okay, who jumps out? Listen, Morikawa's already won a major, and people know he's a young star. But we've had a lot of young stars in the sport. Justin Thomas, Spieth. I mean, Spieth actually could be the answer to this question, the comeback story. People already know his name. They're like, where did he go? He's an easy guy to root for. And so Spieth could be a little bit of an answer here, but he's not really different, right? I mean, it doesn't make you say, oh, wow, look at that. Look at the way he hits it. Look at the hat he wears, right? Look at the clubs. He stands funny, hitting the clubs. That's what DeChambeau looks different standing over the ball, So I think you're right. I would say I'm trying to find someone different than what you're saying, and I really can't, other than if, like, an old guy won, like Mickelson. Like, if Mickelson at 50 all of a sudden found the fountain of youth this week and loves the place, and he is +1, by the way. He's about 4 shots off the lead. But if he won, that would be a story that would transcend, more than DeChambeau. So I think you're right. I'll just go back to what I said. First, I don't think golf needs somebody right now to do that. I think golf's in a really good place, whether it's in their own niche or not. But sports always want to expand outside of their normal audience. And so I don't think they need it, but they'd certainly welcome it. And I think DeChambeau gives them the best chance to do it. I'm not sure he would do it, but I think he gives them the best chance to do it. So I had another topic here on the Masters that I was watching it this morning, and I saw Mickelson. And, every time you see Mickelson, you're like, okay, Mickelson, Augusta, Mickelson, lefty, Mickelson, great career, Mickelson overshadowed in his career by Tiger Woods. And so there's always that Tiger Phil thing. And for some reason, I got thinking of a player that would shine today if he weren't under Tiger's shadow and Phil's shadow, that played over the last 20 years. So, like, when you say, does golf need a new face, like a superstar, somebody transcendent, could you pick somebody over the last, well, really from 2000 to like 2015, say, that was in that last generation of sorts, that you'd put him in this generation and he'd be a mega star, even though he kind of went a bit under the radar or wasn't as big a star as we thought he might be because he was overshadowed by Tiger, Phil, and at times others like Ernie Els and Vijay Singh and others. And there's one name that jumps out at me. Like, I've always thought Ricky Fowler, by the way, if Ricky Fowler could win major and major and be, like, as good as DeChambeau or Rory or Justin Thomas, like, I think he really had a chance to transcend it, but he just hasn't done it, and now he's really fallen off by the wayside. So, and he wasn't playing in that era anyway, but this is the kind of guy I'm talking about, that if he did more or if he played in a different era, could he have been this big a star? And the guy that pops into my mind is Sergio Garcia. If Sergio Garcia started his career right, 5 years ago, not in the Tiger shadow, but instead in the Tiger absence. And he's this 19, 20-year-old kid. And he's a Spaniard, kind of a hot shot with a personality, polarizing, running after shots after he hits it off a root of a tree. And talented, by the way, really talented. I think he's a guy if he had started his career in 2014, say, and he's in this wave, in this generation, I think he could have been a megastar, probably won more, got more endorsements, all the rest. But I think it felt like, now he's still a big star, folks, I understand, but he was in the shadow of Tiger and Phil and all the rest. And because of that, he didn't win as much as he probably would have, say, in a different era. I was thinking of that today, and Sergio comes to mind. Sergio could have been like that dude in this era, in the post-Tiger era, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. That's a pretty good call because, when we talk about star power, you don't have to be the most liked person. Now, I'm not sure in terms of the fan base, like what percentage of golf fans are big Sergio supporters and what percentage of golf fans are like, I'm not a really big fan of him. It doesn't really matter now, does it? Because we're talking about star power if you're talking about him. And I can definitely see that with Sergio.
Yeah, so just something that crossed my mind today as we were talking a little bit or thinking a little bit about golf and the Masters. One thing about the Masters, it's a very small field. And there's a lot of older players in it because if you win, like Larry Mize is still playing. Bernard Longer is still playing in this event. Now, Longer usually does pretty well in this event, too. But you can play for as long as you want to play if you're a past champ.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a really small field. So it kind of, in this kind of context, you don't get that, usually don't get that out-of-nowhere guy. A guy that might win the U.S. Open or the PGA Championship, and you're like, wow, what's this story? Who's this guy? This could be the next big thing. Most of the people that are playing at the Masters you kind of know already. And so I think in this context, it makes it a little bit more difficult from that standpoint. All right, let's get back to some football real quick. At number 25, the Jacksonville Jaguars could go in a ton of different directions. I was leaning toward this a little bit yesterday, but I don't think if they picked wide receiver that would surprise anybody. I just wonder if people would be all for it. Would there be a position the Jaguars take at number 25, Austin Lane, that would surprise you?
Punter. No. I think at 25, if it wasn't Penei Sewell, I think offensive line would surprise me. That is really the only one I think. I would say like offensive lineman and middle linebacker would be two surprises to me.
Okay, that's fair. I think I feel the same way about offensive line. I think I'm to the point where I would be surprised, though teams always try to build up their offensive line if somebody fell, and Penei Sewell is not falling to 25. So I wasn't going there. I wasn't thinking there, but I could come on board with that.
Okay.
I think what you just said about middle linebacker would be surprising and say a whole lot about how they feel about a guy like Joe Schobert.
Correct.
Right? If that were to happen. I'm thinking like the kid out of who's the kid that just
Tulsa?
really did well? The kid out of Kentucky,
Okay.
right? Did you see the kid out of Kentucky who's really been making waves?
Okay.
Check him out. He had
Murray State or like the University of Kentucky?
No, like University of Kentucky.
Okay.
Had the massive pro day.
Okay.
And even I read something on him today. Even the scouts really didn't know much about him. And he had an unbelievable year last year, but then his pro day blew everybody away. And so there's massive upside for this kid. So I was just thinking middle linebacker, that I would be the same way because we're a little bit scratching our heads even on the Wilson pickup from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Where's he going to fit? So that's already got us thinking about middle linebacker. I'm going to answer this question succinctly, though. I would be surprised because I think it's possible, but I'd be surprised if the Jags were to pick a running back at 25. But I do think there are guys that could be in play at 25.
Yes.
From Najee Harris to ETN, who we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. I just think that would surprise people. The name recognition is there. It could even get you excited. But we would go back to the conversation, okay, what's the role? How are we splitting this up? Why did you do that? You just got a guy that came off 1,400 yards. They seem to like him. So I think the surprise pick, but a possibility, because that's where some of those guys fall into, like the best running backs in this draft could easily go first off the board at number 25.
Mm-hmm.
And so there could be a whole bunch of value there, but I think it would stun me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd come with you on running back as well, especially when you have a guy like James Robinson. And if you take a guy in the first round, that guy better get some starting reps. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the fact of the matter. And coming off of, James Robinson's stellar rookie year, I would have a hard time co-signing taking a running back in the first round, even if it was maybe an ETN. Probably more Najee Harris than ETN, just because Najee Harris gives you another kind of like a bruising back, it seems like a little bit. Now, he is good in the receiving game as well, but I think if you go in the first round, you have to get that explosive guy, that home run threat. I think ETN would be a better guy at that than Najee Harris.
Really funny social media, including you, John Bachman. Quarterback would be surprising, apparently, to some.
I like it. I like it. People are fed up with you, Brent.
I think we're right on this, though. I think running back, I think what you said about middle linebacker, I'd be less surprised at offensive line, but I think it does fit the category. The reason why it would be a surprise is because I think there are so many ways to go that wouldn't be a surprise. From wide receiver to edge rusher to defensive line to the safety. And one we didn't mention here is tight end. And as badly as they need a tight end, it would be somewhat surprising for them to pick a tight end at 25.
For sure. It could happen.
Shock your mock.
Yeah.
We know where Shock Your Mock is going.
No, you
Somewhere in this next Shock Your Mock is Pat Freiermuth. Is he at 25, 33, or 45? Where is Pat Freiermuth? Where's the Pat Freiermuth fun fact? Find out next. Shock Your Mock. Austin Lane not getting bumped today. It's next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and warm today, highs in the mid-80s, dropping tonight to near 60 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair, all one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options.
You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Welcome to Moe's, and good morning at Moe's. In St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1, it's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Try it. You'll love it. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. They put the fast in breakfast. Made to order in the drive-thru. Try the Home Wrecker breakfast burrito. Your choice of bacon, chicken, or steak with scrambled eggs, shredded cheese, and seasoned potatoes. Served daily at 6 a.m. St. Augustine location only. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? So that I can go back to church.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, we appreciate it. But your boss has you working from home this week, so take us with you. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
The beer that made Milwaukee famous. Giannis Antetokounmpo, big sign, the deer that made Milwaukee famous.
Brent Martineau.
I can buy that.
Yeah, okay. That's all I'm throwing out there.
I can definitely buy that.
Hashtag and trademark. So if somebody try to steal it, I'm suing you.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Urban Meyer, I'm just saying the guy who's truly, want to get an understanding of who I am and where I come from, so you have a better respect of the guy who you're working with, the guy, who's coaching me, or, vice versa of me, understanding the guy who I'm playing for. You have a sense of respect. You talking about going to battle with these guys, and you build this certain relationship. You're willing to do whatever it takes, and ready to run through a wall through a guy that you truly love and truly respect. And I feel like that's the culture he's trying to build. He want to build it off love and respect. I'll do anything for a guy, knowing that he has my back no matter what, because he knows who I am. He knows the reason why I'm playing this game. He knows what I'm fighting for, and he want to help me accomplish that.
That sounds awesome.
It's Shaq Griffin.
Jags free agent was that?
It's Shaq Griffin.
Shaq Griffin?
Yeah. Yep. Because that was Pat McAfee, right, in the background?
Yep.
Shaq Griffin.
That's who that was. I was trying to figure that out. That was good. Good context.
Yeah.
Shout out to the ESPN chat for telling me about that one.
making my job way easier.
Is McAfee still doing a lot of the wrestling stuff?
No, he. I think he's taking like a hiatus right now from that. I guess when you go out, you go out on top. Well, it was never like a long-term thing.
Okay.
It was just like a short-term thing with Adam Cole. So, not that I know of right now. I know like there was some speculation he might go to AEW, but I guess that was all just rumors between him and Cody Rhodes.
Okay. By the way, so how did the Tyson thing go last night? And you can catch Austin's interview with Tony Khan up on the Facebook page, ESPN 690 Jax. Also, I think it's up on YouTube as well, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. But find it on our social media platforms.
Yeah.
What was the Mike Tyson role last night?
So he ended up coming to defend his former nemesis, I guess you would call him, in Chris Jericho. He actually had Chris Jericho's back. So there might be a storyline going further now between the Inner Circle and Mike Tyson taking on the new kind of like this new stable that they call the Pinnacle that is spearheaded by MJF.
All right.
So there you go.
Very good. By the way, our restaurant of the day is Culhane's Irish Pub. Check them out at Atlantic Beach and also on the south side. Go visit Culhane's Irish Pub. A little happy hour or any time of the day. Lunch, dinner, great food, great spirits. Culhane's Irish Pub, our restaurant of the day. And it's Shock Your Mock season as we continue to go. Are we having trouble finding mock drafts, or do we have plenty to pick from?
No, we have plenty to pick from. DMs are full right now.
Just let me know once you need me to tap into the Instagram DMs too, because there's more.
Right. I mean, eventually, if you want to, if you find a good one in there, feel free to bring it up, Coos. Mentions are full. So yeah, we have plenty of content for the next couple weeks or so. I mean, theoretically, we could probably go keep this going through like the regular season if we truly wanted to. But once again, I'm not sure if my heart can take it.
I'm not sure if my pocketbook can take it. I
there
only
it
have
is.
so many shirts.
There it is.
Yeah, I will say, isn't it funny? Like, for the most part, people are, I think, good-spirited and like to be roasted.
Yeah, I mean, the dude that I eviscerated yesterday reached out to me, man, and he was like, he loved it. Like, I think they know where I'm coming from and everything.
It's like a roller coaster ride, Like, you're kind of terrified while you're going through it, but then afterwards, you're like, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's a cool thing that we've created.
Well, so much so that it's time to get it rolling here on a Thursday edition of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. 3 weeks from the draft. The countdown is on. 21 days. Shock Your Mock time.
Who's hit me?
He is none other than the Shock Master!
Gonna shock yo mock. We're gonna shock yo mock.
Brutality, don't you think?
Shocking. Gonna shock yo mock. We're gonna shock yo mock.
Shocking upset.
I feel shocked. Shock yo mock. We're gonna shock yo mock.
I am shocked. I am shocked. That's what I mean. I am.
Still looking for someone to tell me what quote the shocking brutality one is from. Little hint for everybody out there. Schindler's List. That is the hint. The hint is Schindler's List. Take that for what you want.
Is that hint also the answer?
No, it is not,
Okay.
Coos. But hey, there is some shocking brutality in that movie. Okay? And Shock Your Mock has taken a dark turn right off the get-go. So, it's going to be an interesting Shock Your Mock today, everybody. Because yesterday, I went off my rocker a little bit. I took the camera. I might have threw the camera on the ground. Now, the camera's okay, but we can't be doing that. Okay, we can't be breaking equipment in here because we're trying hard to just try to get the lights on and everything. So, after some meditation, because yes, I do meditation at night. I kind of just sat there and pondered, like, all right, so where do we go from here? Because yesterday I blew a gasket, and then as I was meditating and doing my mantras and all that stuff, it kind of finally dawned on me, like an epiphany, if you will. This Shock Your Mock, it's not about me and what I bring to the table. Obviously not, because I got bumped by Daniel Jeremiah. And Coos...
Oh, really?
And
there was no Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah, well, no, we'll address that in a second. And Kuz, you bring so much to this table, and I'll be honest, I was rude yesterday, and I apologize. I didn't mean to get all over the buttons, but you know how I get frustrated sometimes over the button stuff because, listen, I demand perfection, right? I do.
Well, yeah, they're also hotkeys.
Buttons. I mean, I'm trying to apologize, dude, and then you come right back and you want to call them hotkeys when they're just you push buttons. Hey, I understand your job is hard, but don't make it harder than it has to be. Just call them buttons. And then Brent, obviously, with the T-shirts as well and everything, like you bring a roll too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'm the parent that gives you the money to go to the movies.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But you're the parent who has a backyard fireplace, so that parent's going to be fine.
Yes.
I'll see it for Christmas. So with all those things, it finally dawned on me, guys, it's not about us. And it's certainly not about the fans that I shock because, let's be honest, could care less. So then who is this about? And I finally found that answer.
Wow.
So let's go ahead and bring about the mock draft first here.
This is deep today.
It is a little deep, but it's going to make sense. Is the mock draft up? We got thumbs up, Kuz. Well, you know what, Kuz? Last time I checked, we have 2 thumbs, don't we? So yes. I'm going to need 1 more thumbs because let's go ahead and make this a little better because it's not about me. It's not about Brent. It's not about the fans. Not about Justin Kuzart. It's about Daniel Jeremiah. Okay? Because Daniel Jeremiah bumped me out of my own spot on my own show yesterday, on my own segment yesterday. So this is the Daniel Jeremiah Shock Your Mock. Okay? And for those of you that are just listening, there's a big picture right now of Daniel Jeremiah covering up me because I'm not important. Covering up the grades of the mock draft from PFF, powered by AWS, because that's not important. And, Brent's still in the corner doing his thing, whatever. So let's get into this. Now, for this Shock Your Mock, I did research. I did homework. Every one of these players that I'm about to name, I Googled their name with Daniel Jeremiah, and these are actual, real Daniel Jeremiah comments that he has to say about these mock draft picks right here. And I understand we couldn't get Daniel Jeremiah on the show yesterday, and that's unfortunate because once again, bumped me. You bumped me, but it's okay, Daniel Jeremiah, because this is your day today. So this is Shock Your Mock, powered by AWS, but who powers AWS? Daniel Jeremiah. Let's get into it. Pick number 1, we got Trevor Lawrence. Daniel Jeremiah has said the Jaguars have done their homework on all top quarterback signs point to Trevor Lawrence going to Jacksonville. Riveting. Pick number 25, Aziz, Ojulari? Yep, there we go. Got it. Yep.
Very good.
Daniel Jeremiah had this to say about Ojulari when he got mocked to the New York Jets. He would be a great fit opposite of the starting outside linebacker. Well, seeing how he's not going to the Jets, he's going to the Jaguars here, I put he would be a great fit opposite of Josh Allen. That was his definition of that. That's all he said. That was literally the mock draft. He would be a great fit on the outside of the other linebacker. Cool. Sounds good.
Good deal.
This is the Daniel Jeremiah drafter. Jamar Johnson, safety, Indiana. Okay. I want to let loose right now, and I want to say but I'm not gonna, because it's not about me today. Okay. It's about Daniel Jeremiah. Now, Jamar Johnson, safety at Indiana. It's a draft need alert. Coos, go ahead, hit the button just nice, because, hey, it's not about the button, though. What does Daniel Jeremiah have to say about him? Absolutely nothing. I Googled this guy, Jamar Johnson, and I Googled Daniel Jeremiah, and literally Daniel Jeremiah has, on Twitter or on Google, has never said one word about Jamar Johnson. So that should tell you all you need to know about the 33rd pick. Pick number 45. Oh, and by the way, when I was doing my homework today with Daniel Jeremiah and going over his videos that he talks about these players in, keep in mind every single video, and I understand the NFL.com network, they've been very helpful and everything. It's been fantastic because we got Bucky Brooks in here and we're supposed to get Daniel Jeremiah, but Brent messed up. It's fine. It's been great. But hey, NFL Network, the audacity that you guys have for every video that I watch, whether it's from the Senior Bowl or something else where you're talking about the draft prospects, the fact that your video, that there's a 30-second preview. Because like when you preview a video, there's a skip ad part like after 5 seconds?
Sure thing.
No skip ads on NFL Network. You watch the full 30 seconds. You give your time to the full 30 seconds. And if you take up all these draft picks, I spent about 6 minutes of just watching ads about home furnishings and Amazon Prime. Why you have home furnishings on NFL Network, I don't know. Talk to your advertiser, do what you got to do, and then send them over here.
Amazon Prime makes sense because isn't that what this mock is kind of?
Oh, are you talking about the AWS?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is powered by AWS, but keep in mind who powers AWS, Daniel Jeremiah. So let's get back on track now. Pick number 45. What would Daniel Jeremiah have to say about this one? Well, and this is, once again, his words, not mine. Pat Freiermuth isn't a dynamic athlete, but he has good feel for the position and should be a steady, reliable starter. Okay, that was Daniel Jeremiah's comments about Freiermuth, and I'll be honest, didn't find anything new about him because, once again, don't think he's a real player, don't think he even exists. Look at his social media, tell me I'm wrong. Next pick, 65. Now, once again, if this was me doing Shock Your Mock, I would say 65 for Marvin Wilson might be a little too aggressive. I understand that there's some intrigue there, but super aggressive. But let's see what Daniel Jeremiah's got to say about Marvin Wilson. Wilson, I think, was a little bit of a victim of some expectations. You come with expectations really high, you're left to be a little disappointed. And that was it. That was the write-up on Marvin Wilson. Riveting stuff. Pick 106, Demetrius Felton. And by the way, this isn't a Daniel Jeremiah roast or anything. I'm just saying this is what Daniel Jeremiah said about these players. Pick 106, Demetrius Felton. We're talking about a halfback out of UCLA. Now, this is an interesting one. This was a Senior Bowl breakdown by Daniel Jeremiah. His versatility is going to be enticing to teams. Not bad for a running back right there. And when he was saying not bad for running back right there, it was a screen pass that Felton took into the end zone during a practice. Like I said, doing my homework, throwing my life away. Pick 130, Tay Gowan. Didn't say anything about Tay Gowan. But I should add to this, though. In a New York Jets message board, right next to the Daniel Jeremiah breakdown of this guy from Whitewater who's supposed to go in the second round of the NFL draft, the Tay Gowan article was right underneath from Ian Rappaport. So there you go. Next pick we have, pick 145, South Carolina, Shi Smith. Daniel Jeremiah had this to say about him. Wide receiver. Shined against one-on-one competition and was really great during individual drills at the Senior Bowl. Nothing better than watching one-on-ones at the Senior Bowl. Aaron Banks, Tough Boland didn't make the list. Daniel Jeremiah hasn't mentioned them at all. And that's all I got to say about it. So, if it was me doing this, I would say, well, Jamar Johnson, Marvin Wilson, losing my marbles a little bit. But Johnny Two Barrels, man. You know, like you pick the right time. You pick the right time to dive in the Shock Your Mock pool. Because right now the waters are calm, the waters are classy, and the waters are filled with a T-shirt with your size and your name on it. Because Daniel Jeremiah said so. So I didn't really shock your mock today. Daniel Jeremiah might have shocked your mock. And then Brent, go ahead and say what you got to say to close this thing out.
Mr. Board and Bruise, I was wondering if we are going to mention Johnny Two Barrels, which should get an award for one of the best Twitter names we got going.
Hey, call him Johnny Two Barrels.
Johnny Two Barrels. And always good to see DJ on the show, too. One of my favorites. Couldn't get him yesterday, got him today. Way to do the homework, Austin Lane.
You're welcome.
Mr. Board and Bruise, your mock has been shocked.
And it's been powered by AWS. And it's been powered by AWS, powered by Daniel Jeremiah. Thank you.
No Pat Freiermuth fun fact today, because he probably just tweeted or social media about football.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I can't find anything on Pat Freiermuth, Brent. Do I say a red flag? No. Am I in the Jaguar scouting department? No. But I got to see something. Tweet a picture of a puppy or do some, I don't know, music, any kind of, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is tweeting about Justin Bieber, so I really don't care at this point what kind of music you're into because I got to deal with it. Tweet something, Pat Freiermuth. Give me some more, man. Come on.
Well, we appreciate the appearance by Daniel Jeremiah today. Way to bring him in. Good job on the homework.
Thanks.
DJ does a top 50, by the way, and some of those guys obviously didn't make the top 50, including the Johnson kid out of Indiana, the safety. We'll do a deeper dive.
Yeah.
On the longer list.
You're just going to keep supporting this guy after he gave you the sounds good copy and paste yesterday, huh?
No worries.
Okay. Oh, no worries. That's right. Even worse.
By the way, what kind of cookie are you eating?
We got a Nature Valley protein and crunch bar, chocolate peanut butter, naturally flavored, powered by AWS, powered by Daniel Jeremiah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I kind of like this mellow Austin Lane, especially after breaking cameras. Did you get an HR letter?
No, but I got another. Can I tell a story? I'll tell a story later.
Okay.
There's something with HR.
That's a good tease.
Yeah.
Something with HR.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to share it.
No,
but
whatever,
maybe
man.
We'll find out
I'm
when
an
we
open
come
book.
back.
I'm an open book.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 returns next.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The cause for Tiger Woods' traumatic car accident was released today. Here is Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
The primary causal factor for this traffic collision was driving at a speed unsafe for the road conditions and the inability to negotiate the curve of the roadway. Estimated speeds at the first area of impact were 84 to 87 miles per hour, and the final estimated speed when the vehicle struck the tree was 75 miles per hour. There were no citations issued, and there are no signs of impairment.
And ex-Florida State wide receiver Travis Rudolph is being charged with first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder with a firearm after a double shooting that left one dead. Rudolph's time in the NFL was short-lived, but he achieved viral fame after befriending a Tallahassee middle school student who was sitting alone at lunch. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The Max Kellerman Show.
The Nets started out the season without James Harden, who's their second best player, and then have played recently without Kevin Durant, who's their best player. Also, when Kyrie joined the team, he and Harden had to figure things out. There was an adjustment period. And so the Nets' record does not reflect, their entire record does not reflect the team they've become.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 2 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Find just what you're looking for at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, Arlington has the model you want, with the features you want, at the price you want. And with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy and a lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited time and unlimited miles. Shop arlingtontoyota.com or in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard.
Smoothie King is blending goodness to fuel your greatness. They make sure every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses whole fruits and only organic veggies. You'll never find any sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives in the smoothies. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of the blends. Skip the line and place your order online now at smoothieking.com for contactless pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a 6-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair, all one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees, too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
Russell Wilson's agent on the record gave Shefty 4 teams Russell Wilson would like to play for. That is an important distinction in this conversation.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Mike is so captivating. He was a captivating boxer. He was the greatest pay-per-view attraction of my childhood and of PBR lifetime, and he's really grown as a person. When I was a kid, Mike Tyson wasn't known as the nicest guy, and I think Mike would be the first to tell you that, he was not the nicest person in the 90s, maybe. But the Mike I know, the Mike I met in 2019, and the modern day Mike is a great person who's grown a lot, and I think it shows. People change, people grow, but what's great about Mike is he's still got that hand speed. He's still got that natural charisma, still dangerous. There's just something about that aura of Mike, the explosiveness, the unpredictability. Nobody's ever had anything quite like it.
That is Tony Khan talking to Austin Lane. You can see more of that interview, hear more of that interview on our Facebook page, ESPN 690 Jax. Also, probably check it out on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 on YouTube as well. More clips to come from Tony Khan. I think he nailed it, too, on Mike Tyson. We just talked about this within the last month, about that very same thing. And an honest assessment from Tony Khan about the yesteryear, of, if you will, of Mike Tyson and now today. And he's obviously been a little bit a part of AEW at times. So smart on Tony's part, because he's still so iconic in many ways, Mike Tyson. HR, is everything okay? Can you share?
Probably not, but I don't care. Okay. I had to, let's just say I had to put in my okay. I can't diverge too much information because but I'll say something. So I had to give my resume to Cox Media Group, okay? So I had to send it to the corporate headquarters. They reached out to me, hey, we need a resume ASAP. And I had to send that to them and HR. Well, I don't have a resume. And I certainly wasn't going to type up a resume today because I didn't want to Google what goes into a resume, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
do people still put that on the parchment paper?
Thank you, Brent. Thank you. So, and once again, without the risk of
specifics.
HR listening too much, did I go on LinkedIn where somebody created apparently a LinkedIn page of me? Yes. Now, did I copy and paste that and then put that in the file for corporate? Absolutely. And then did I put in a little note because it wasn't up to date? I also talk on the radio for ESPN 690. Yes, I did. And that was my resume that I sent to them. Haven't heard anything back yet. Hopefully they enjoyed it. And shout out to the person that made my LinkedIn for Austin Lane, by the way, too.
Somebody
pretty
did that
accurate.
Without you asking?
I don't know. It's up there, man.
You found a LinkedIn profile of him, but you don't know how it got there.
I mean, it might have been mine, when I had to reapply for college, but it's been a while, so I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I don't even use the LinkedIn stuff. I have it, but I don't. I know so many people do.
If you need a resume builder, just copy and screenshot it, kind of edit it, add a filter to it. And then send it to HR. It'll be all right.
That's terrific. I didn't know where this conversation was going to go. That's not too bad, but resume building is not my forte anymore.
Right? Who's got time for that?
Haven't done a resume since at least 2007 or 8. So,
yeah.
Which is fortunate. But I don't even know I don't even know the mode of operation right now when it comes to a resume.
You're preaching to the choir, man. You're preaching to the choir.
Hey, did you see I retweeted this. Did you see the end of the Mets game?
I did not. No.
Go look that up. If you can.
Okay.
So what happens is the bases are loaded. So 1-2 pitch, Conforto at the plate in a tie game. In the last inning, the Mets walk it off on a hit by pitch. He leans over the middle of the plate. The ball is in the box. It's a strike, Austin. And he leans over the middle. If we are going to have all this stupid replay at times in baseball and other sports, how can we not replay that? That is exactly what I've been preaching for years. That's the one where you jump off your couch and you say, that's the wrong call, and we all know it. The Mets announcers even knew it. The Mets fans, I know, even know it and are saying it. How do we not get that call right if we're going to have replay?
Players are coming out of the dugout, pouring water on the gentleman like he just hit a grand slam to win the game. Seeing the replay right now. It didn't touch him. Did it touch him?
Yeah, he reached his
Okay,
elbow.
he reached his elbow out there.
But look, he's right over the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
It should have been strike 3.
Yeah, I don't like that. Conforto, yeah. Conforto, yeah.
So why can't we replay that? Why can't that be challenged? Somebody's got to say something. If we're going to have replay, we need to fix that.
Yeah,
that's what it should
ridiculous.
be there for. It shouldn't be there for, did the guy come off the bag for a split second when I slowed this down to 1/60th of a frame?
Yeah.
Like that, if we're going to use it for that, how can't we use it for this?
But at the same time, though, I mean, that's kind of like the most Mets win ever, right? Like, I mean, when you live in the shadow of the evil empire, you take what you can get.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they would have won the game anyway, but come on. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to get a big change because of that play. It's coming soon.
It's got to overcorrect itself, Brent.
Yes,
it's the way of the world, man.
It will overcorrect itself. Instead of logic, why can't we just use logic? Here's what's logical. Football at 5 in Jacksonville on ESPN 690 when we come back.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I would like to hug my grandchildren.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
They just don't make them like they used to. People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioners. Manufacturers actually make them better than they used to. It's just that local AC companies don't install them like they ought to. Old school rules of thumb and yesterday's shortcuts simply sabotage new school systems. Can new technology give you more comfort with longer service life? Only if the AC tech knows how to properly engineer it for your home and how to install it right. So techs that don't understand inverters, low voltage controls, and how to configure the software, dip switches, and refrigerant charge for Florida humidity, they'll totally turn it into turd buckets, especially if they just do a swap the box install without fixing your ductwork and airflow. My point, the better the technology, the more important the install. At Griffith Service, we fix what others can't, but it's best to have us install it right from the beginning. So if your new system ain't working right or your old one needs replacing, call
GriffinService.com.
1250-697.
Welcome to Moe's and good morning at Moe's. In St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1, it's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Try it. You'll love it. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. They put the fast in breakfast. Made to order in the drive-thru. Try the Home Wrecker breakfast burrito. Your choice of bacon, chicken, or steak with scrambled eggs, shredded cheese, and seasoned potatoes. Served daily at 6 a.m. St. Augustine location only. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half? That feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Spring makes all things new, and the Home Depot makes all spring things possible. Start a garden, refinish a deck. Use our mobile app to put over 2 million products in the palm of your hand. Some ready for pickup in as little as 2 hours. Oh, and if you don't have the tools you need, our tool rental department does. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with innovative help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi at this hour. Thanks to 4 birdies and an eagle, Justin Rose has taken over sole possession of the lead at the Masters. Hideki Matsuyama and Brian Harman are 1 back. Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka are 5 off the lead. Rory McIlroy is 7 back. First round coverage continues on ESPN TV, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Ohio State will hold a second Pro Day Wednesday, giving teams another chance to see quarterback Justin Fields in person. That includes 49ers GM John Lynch and coach Kyle Shanahan. They were unable to attend Fields' first Pro Day as they were at the Pro Day for Alabama QB Mac Jones. Both in the conversation for the Niners with the 3rd overall pick in this month's draft. The sky would be the limit for San Francisco with Fields, believes ESPN's Damian Woody.
Imagine a play caller of Kyle Shanahan's caliber being able to have an athlete like Justin Fields. There's so many things you could do, from RPOs and rollouts, bootlegs, all different types of things you can do with a quarterback / athlete like Justin Fields.
UCLA signed men's basketball coach Mick Cronin to a 2-year extension.
Whether it's offering curbside or next-day delivery for online orders on over 160,000 parts, or getting involved in their local communities, when it comes to serving you, Napa's Motor never quits. That's Napa Know-How.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Have you been able to go to the facility and kind of see what they've been working on, or are you still at home doing training on your own?
Yeah, I've been there after I first got a chance, when I first signed, got a chance to see everything, but it's so much more to it. You know, I feel like what they were showing me, they'll show me one thing and be like, yeah, we're going to do this to it, we're going to change this up. I'm like, whoa. So, we come in, he changed the program around, he changing everything, we want everything from scratch, brand new. And like I said, man, he has a vision. And it's cool that he had a vision. He's sharing it with us so we can start to believe in it now before we even get started. And I feel like this is awesome. So, he be asking, all right, when you coming down here? You come down here and you can train, you get your stuff together, get your place together, just go ahead and get more equipped floor to come back. And hearing that, knowing the coach wants you there so bad, and ready to get to it, it really shows his passion, his pride for this game, and that's the type of guy I want to play for.
That is Shaq Griffin with Pat McAfee. And you can feel the excitement. Listen, I don't want to mislead, and I'm not this naive. There are about 40 million reasons why Shaq Griffin could be pretty excited as well. Mm-hmm. But I think lost in there is some, or not lost, but in there is some genuine excitement for what's going on here. And when players come in and they can feel that, we can feel it in the city, but can they feel it? And they probably feel it in a different way because they're feeling it in the building. And that shows me, Austin, that guys like Urban are purveying that energy, right? A guy like Joe Cullen's going to do that. Mm-hmm. So he's got guys like Cullen and Bevel and himself and name anybody else on the staff. I don't know these guys well enough, but that there's an energy about them, right? It's not just, hey, come in and play football. It's, man, we're going to go get after it. Let's go do this thing. And it's not rah-rah necessarily. It's got an intensity to it. And so I think that's what I get. I was talking to Marvin Jones in the last week. You hear this stuff from Shaq Griffin. We've heard it enough from the other players. There's an energy in that building, and a lot. Here's what's something. People don't love change, but there's something about the energy of change, and especially when it feels like it's for the better, and you're buying in, and you're here to be something better. People don't like change. The folks that usually don't like it are the ones that have been there already, in most places. But the people coming in, there's an energy about change, and you almost sense that's the case down at Jags headquarters.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about Shaq Griffin, who came from a place in Seattle that thrived off energy as well. I think in terms of, I just culture, locker room hype. Now, despite what you heard about Russell Wilson. But before that, the Seahawks are always a team that you kind of think of tough and physical, even though that they've kind of went away from that brand a little bit now with more of Russell Wilson taking over that offense. So Shaq Griffin's been in that case before. He knows what it's all about. And I think he's going to a spot now in Jacksonville that can kind of replicate that energy in a different way. Like, it's not going to be exactly like Pete Carroll, obviously. It's going to be a whole different kind of vibe. And I think money had something to do with it, too. But it's like I said when Urban Meyer made his decision to come to Jacksonville. Like, I think with what Pete Carroll was able to do in Seattle and make kind of Seattle a cool team, and you had beast mode, and you had the Legion of Boom, and then you had like the whole jerseys, like, the new uniforms and all that stuff. Like, a lot of that had to do with Pete Carroll. And I can see Urban Meyer doing the exact same thing, assuming that he has success. And then all of a sudden, Jacksonville maybe might be the cool team to root for in terms of their playing style. And obviously having Trevor Lawrence isn't going to hurt either.
Yeah, I think all that stuff's cool, well said. And I think it's fun. I mean, it's fun to kind of feel it from the players. We can kind of manufacture it sometimes on the outside. And you wonder if it's, okay, is it legit? I feel like this is legit. We'll see what happens. One other thing about Shaq Griffin, and we've talked about this at length now going on a couple months, but the new facilities are coming. He just basically said they showed him the blueprints of how it's going to change. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he was just talking about the defensive scheme. I think he was talking about facility and all those. I mean, I think that's how much this is on the horizon. That gets me excited, too. I'm never going to use the facility. It's not going to be for Brent. It's not going to be for the media. Yet I find myself excited that the Jags are doing this and that they're not waiting around to do this. This isn't something in a vision down the road. This is something that's going to happen ASAP. And again, I think we can sense the excitement from players too, but I think that's reason for excitement. That shows an investment in this team. That shows me what Urban Meyer is changing and how quickly he can change things. The guy's been on the job for less than 3 months, and he's already got blueprints probably on the facility that they're going to build.
No, it's great, and obviously, and I've said this before countless times on this show, like all the bells and whistles and things like that. Like, do pros, do they really buy into that whole narrative? And some may, some might not, depending where they come from and depending what their stories are. But at the same time, let's be honest. Anytime you get anything new, that's exciting. Like, it could be a TV, it could be a couch, it could be a car. Anytime you get something new, like there's that feeling. It's like, all right, this is awesome. Well, amplify that now by a place that you're going to spend a lot of your, training camp in, and a lot of time away from your family. And like, that's exciting. If you get the state of the art stuff and you get the new facilities and all that, and which it might take some time, couple years, but when you get that stuff, like, that's new and exciting. It doesn't matter if it's bells or whistles or not. It's something new. It's something fresh, and players go for that.
Yeah. I'll even say to the point where I haven't played baseball at Ashland University in 20 years, more than that. And I saw a picture today of, like, their locker room. I was like, dang, why didn't we have that?
Yeah.
By the way, they put the ping pong table in the locker room.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
So, but it's funny how, just, again, it's like, do you need it? No. But some of those things are add a refreshing excitement and energy as well. Speaking of excitement and energy, how about happy hour horn time here on a Thursday? Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
The good vibes. Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. It's a celebration.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local. Try Vida de Luis. Find out where you could pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local. Taste the islands in every drop. Is Josh Allen about to taste a big-time extension? Is he next on the list, Austin Lane? The Buffalo Bills quarterback, that is.
Yes.
Now, this Josh Allen should also get one at some point.
Yeah.
But is Josh Allen, the QB, is that the next domino to fall in the NFL? Could it be Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Where are the dollars going next?
Yeah, the whole Josh Allen next big extension, that narrative, it comes from a few spots. He was on, Josh Allen was on with Gil Brandt, and then they asked him about it. Because, eventually he's going to be due for one. And, he kind of had the cliche answer, like, that's why I pay my agent for. Like, I'm not worried about it right now. I enjoy the city of Buffalo. Just pretty basic stuff. And then a couple weeks back, I know that the GM, Brandon Beane, said that he would rather get the deal done sooner rather than later, and which I can see from his side, because every year that you wait, the more money it's gonna cost you in the long run. So, it's a great question of, will it be this year? Could it be next year? And I was doing a little research on it, and according to Sport Track, and it's kind of like they do like the market value projections. A fair deal, according to them, would be an extension where Josh Allen makes $42.1 million annually. Now, divide that how you want to look at that, but that would make him the second highest paid quarterback in the entire NFL.
Behind Mahomes?
Behind Mahomes, yes.
Who else is in that stratosphere? Russell Wilson's around 39, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I think Watson. Is he Watson up there?
Watson's right about 39 as well for now.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? The other guys like Garoppolo and Wentz, and then they're all in like the low 20s.
I mean, I can look it up real quick.
But that sounds about right, though. So, I mean, you're talking Mahomes. Where's Aaron Rodgers? What kind of deal is he working on right now?
Looking it up in a second here. 1 second, please.
But Watson, 39. Wilson, 39. 40, whatever it is for Mahomes, like 45 or something.
All right, so we got Mahomes number 1, Prescott's number 2, Watson's number 3, Russell Wilson number 4, Jared Goff is tied for 5th with Aaron Rodgers.
What is Goff's at? How's he tied for 5th? What is his dollars? Does it say?
Goff is going to be making – say what?
I say, what are his dollars? I was just speaking better English.
No, you're fine. Goff is slated to make it says the AVV, which I guess is that the average? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, $33.5 million.
Is he really? Wow.
And that's between him and Aaron Rodgers are this pretty much the same deal.
Well, something's amiss there.
Yes.
It feels like, at least.
Yeah.
But, okay, so, but to get really, right now, there's kind of like to me, there's a couple different levels, and over $35 million is like it's a level of itself.
Yeah.
And so you're talking Watson, Wilson, Mahomes in that category.
Dak Prescott,
who just signed the big deal. Josh Allen would join that fray. I mean, that's just the cost of doing business, right? Somewhere around $40 million a year.
Yeah, like I said, they're projecting 42 and some change, so it would put him at the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, it's a deal. It's the price of doing business.
I think that's just the price of doing business, and I think the stock is high on him right now. They are cooking right now. He has gotten better. He has shown the ability to get better. Why would it stop? I don't think he's hit his ceiling. He's got a ton of talent, arm talent, leg talent. He looks like he's hitting stride, and he's got plenty of evidence to show that. The interesting one is, who else would be in this category? Well, Lamar Jackson does come to mind, right? And Lamar Jackson, do you think – I feel like they might wait around a little bit longer for Lamar Jackson. But is he going to land one of these $40 million type of deals? I would suspect, right? He's a league MVP.
Yeah, I think you got Lamar Jackson. You're going to have Baker Mayfield as well. With Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, Baker Mayfield's going to get paid. Now, where it's going to rank, I mean, obviously top 5 just because the price of doing inflation. Lamar Jackson, I could see that the Ravens hanging on to like the last second just because, there's obviously there's always the risk of injury, number one. And it's kind of messed up to say, but let's be honest, it's the National Football League and it's cutthroat. So there's the risk of injury, number one. And number two, like, have you seen enough from Lamar Jackson, the passer, where you're ready to make him, probably the top 4 highest paid quarterback in the NFL? I think you can make an argument for both sides.
Yeah, and that's when you say Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, in the same context as you're telling me Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen kind of money, and even like when Deshaun Watson before this stuff happened, I just don't feel it. I don't feel like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a no-brainer. If those quarterbacks are the quarterbacks of my organization, I'm happy they're my quarterbacks of my organization. But I'm also a little hesitant to say they're going to be superstars, $40 million quarterbacks consistently for the next 5 years. I don't know if that's fair or unfair. I just don't feel that about those guys. I feel like there's still a little bit of curiosity and mystery with both Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. I kind of get the sense you might be thinking the same.
No, without a doubt. And we have to ask ourselves the question as well. And, we'll find out with Patrick Mahomes. But when you pay – I think actually Mahomes and the Chiefs are a little bit of an outlier because it seems like they got everybody already shored up with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill as well.
Yeah, they figured it out, didn't they?
They did. Because the salary cap doesn't exist. He
backloaded, too. He took the way he did a lot of his money, somehow it wasn't on the books in the early years as much.
But history has shown, at least I think history has shown, I have to look back and look at the numbers here, but it has shown that when you have that high-priced quarterback who's number 1, number 2, number 3 in terms of making money, I feel like, sure, you get wins, but Super Bowl victories, I'm not sure how many of those guys can say that. Now, Tom Brady, obviously, but how many times has he taken discounts?
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a time where Tom Brady has been the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Now, maybe I misspoke there, but at least in his last couple of years of playing football, that hasn't been the case.
I don't think he has been. I think your point is dead on. I don't think he's been the highest paid quarterback maybe at any time in his career.
Now, with Aaron Rodgers, when he won his, I'm not sure if that was still on his rookie deal or not, but even back when Aaron Rodgers won his, I don't think he was one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the entire NFL. So when we look at guys right now like Patrick Mahomes, who once again went to the Super Bowl, but is a little bit of an outlier because how they set up that contract. You look at Dak Prescott. You look at Deshaun Watson. You look at Russell Wilson. You look at Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers. And you look at Carson Wentz. And, I'm not Carson Wentz, but I'm putting out Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is 7th right now at $33 million a year. You look at all those guys, there's been some success, more than others. But how many of those guys have won the big one since they signed those massive extensions?
Yeah, you'd still pay the guy to think that you have the guy. You want to be in that position.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is for guys like Mayfield and Cleveland and the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, if you feel like it but you're not 100% sure, it could simply turn into Wentz, Goff, Garoppolo, other situations where all of a sudden now you're trying to unload big deals and unload that quarterback, and hopefully somebody wants to bite on that. I think those guys are in that category from a feel perspective. It might be unfair to them because they've done a really nice job. I just have a different feel about those two guys compared to Josh Allen, who might be due for the big payday. If I'm buying stock, I'm buying it in Josh Allen before I'm buying those other two guys. I guess that's the simplest way.
No, and that makes the most sense. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with you here. So here's another interesting little tidbit here I want to bring up. So if we look at the top 10 paid quarterbacks this up-and-coming year, Brent, okay? We got Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, and keep in mind he's coming from the Eagles, obviously, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes. How many of those guys last year actually found themselves in the playoffs with their teams? Not too many. It would be Mahomes. It would be Wilson. It would be Goff, Rodgers, and Tannehill.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, Rodgers made it and almost got benched. I'm sorry, not Rodgers, Goff.
Yeah. So basically half of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks going into next season didn't even make the playoffs last year.
Wow. Yeah, that's almost unacceptable. If you're going to have that guy.
Yeah.
Now, there are other circumstances, but you got to make sure you're making the postseason, giving yourself a chance to dance for the big one. Hey, let's dance on the ocean right now. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report with Rick Riles each and every day on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you had a good day on the water yesterday, Rick. You can hear us loud and clear like 100 miles into the Atlantic Ocean on ESPN 690.
I can hear you. Unfortunately, nobody can hear my cell phone. Right. We were a little further out yesterday than we normally are at this time of day, so we got delayed by some mahi on the way home, so we had to stop and add them to our fish box. And what a thrill yesterday was. Brent, I've been involved for several years with a group called Fishing with Fighters, and we take combat vets out fishing, and we had James Anahan yesterday from Orlando, who was injured in Iraq, and he had never been on the ocean before. And my goodness, we had blackfin tunas, and we had mahis, and we had triggerfish and Vermilion snapper. We had just a beautiful box of fish for him. A lot of beautiful boxes of fish got caught yesterday. Lots of blackfin tuna, not as many mahi as we're used to seeing in April, but there are some around if you get fortunate enough to find a school. Now, closer to shore, things are just way out of control. Roger Walker had a great day on the sheephead yesterday, fishing offshore a little ways. And inshore, David Voorhees said he cannot remember when he has seen a better redfish bite. The flounder are real good, and they're bigger than the normal spring flounder, but the redfish are really the stars of the show right now. That's the good news. The bad news is we're going to have a little change in weather. The wind picks up tomorrow. For the small boats, the chances are the ocean will be closed. And it looks long range to me like it's probably going to be closed until next Tuesday, Brent. So we're just going to have to deal with that. But we'll check on it again tomorrow afternoon with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
Thanks, Rick. Have a great night, man. That's a really cool program you guys do as well. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report brought to you by Rick Riles, with Rick Riles. And make sure you check out the show on Saturday morning right here on ESPN 690, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Get your fishing report each and every day on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Austin, you still have that list of 10 quarterbacks made the playoffs or not that you just ran through?
Yeah.
Would you put money that 8 out of 10 make it next year?
Out of this group?
Yeah, go through the group. Go through the group slowly. We'll say yes or no.
Chiefs going to playoffs?
Yes.
Cowboys?
I think yes.
Texans?
Weak division.
Okay. Texans? No.
No.
Seahawks? Yes.
I'd say yes.
Well, it was the Rams, but now it's the Lions with Jared Goff?
No.
Packers?
Yes.
Vikings? I'm going to say no. I mean, until you prove me I've been burned so many times.
They did add some good pieces, but I'll say no with you.
Colts?
Yes.
Falcons?
I'd say no.
Titans?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
Even though I want to say no.
So was that
6 and 4?
6 and 4. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that 2 or 3 of those other ones do make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that I'd say not going to is Houston.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, that's
feels like they've
guaranteed.
got no chance.
Without a doubt. And
All right.
who knows if Deshaun Watson going to be playing this year? We don't know that yet.
Yeah, that's still an unbelievable story. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Give you an update on the Masters leaderboard. Not a lot of low scores out there, and a lot of guys not in red numbers at Augusta National. We'll be back.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Mild temperatures in the 70s, bottoming out to 60 degrees tonight under a partly cloudy sky. More sunshine on Friday, and it stays warm with afternoon temperatures back in the middle to upper 80s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sema.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop. Oh, pollen season is still hanging around. I'll take care of my allergies, but who's going to take care of keeping my truck clean? I've been going to Prime Car Wash, full service interior and exterior. And while you wait, spacious lounges, even child-friendly lounges, Starbucks coffee, iPads, Wi-Fi. Before you know it, your car or truck is cleaned. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle. Prime Car Wash. Clean inside, clean outside.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watch Tanika Hughes and John Bachman on Action News Jax at 5, 6, and 11.
We make it a point to cover important local news you need to know about.
Perspective is important. It's not just what happened, it's the reason why it happened and how that impacts you.
Plus, it's where you'll find the Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is always changing, and my forecast will help you plan your day and week ahead.
Watch and you'll see why CBS 47 and Fox 30 is local coverage you can count on.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. On Monday, kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Voted best wings in St. Augustine as well. Visit williejewels.com and visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes. At Willie Jewell's.
April is Financial Literacy Month. Most people can't afford a surprise $500 expense. So the best thing you can do for yourself and your families is to create an emergency fund in a separate bank account. You should try to sock away at least 3 to 6 months of expenses before you start thinking about big purchases or investing. It literally will save your life one day. This is brought to you by One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get more great financial tips at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
For survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties, Hubbard House provides free, confidential emergency shelter and services. Call our 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114.
Stick to your 2021 New Year's resolutions. Commit to fitness with Body Armor Sports Drink. Buy $20 worth of Body Armor products and get $10 in fitness cash to one of your favorite brands by uploading your receipt on BACommitToFit.com. Body Armor available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Max. I can't wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's not where I am right where I want to be.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Brent Martineau.
All right, Jason Fitz, thanks for checking in, man. We didn't try to keep you too long today. We gave you a shorter day.
Austin Lane.
Hey, Jason, real quick, man. Since you have that Bowman-Koff Award, since you can, vote on that, Murray State's got a couple good receivers. No, they didn't play this year. Okay, they didn't play a game this year, but Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Just check them out real quick.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
You can continue to say it, but it doesn't matter when you say it or how you say it. It's still amazing to see, and it still gives me goosebumps to talk about it because, that usually does not happen. You talk about being that 1% chance of a guy like my brother getting drafted, and a 1% chance of us playing together at the highest level. Things like that doesn't happen, and it is a Cinderella story, so it's cool. But, this is just half of it. It's still a story being written. Right now my brother have, different teams that he can go to right now. Not sure if he can go to Jacksonville with me or There's so many different things that this story has to offer, and it's like I said, it's just the beginning. I feel like we're just getting started with it, so it's I can't wait to see what's next.
Especially you go back to Florida, turn the franchise around. I mean, there he is.
That is Shaq Griffin along with Pat McAfee, and I guess we still haven't seen that, right? Shaquem Griffin, is he going to end up in Jacksonville or not?
It's a good question. Yeah. I mean, there's the rumor saying that he was going to, but I think it's official.
Yeah, that was like early on. That was even before I think Shaq. Oh, it was right when Shaq signed, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just assume, but we haven't seen anything since. Hey, I give you an update at the Masters. Justin Rose just birdied 15. He's now 5 under, so best round of the day. And he's still out on the course, has 3 holes to play. He's got a 2-shot lead. Brian Harmon, Hideki Matsuyama at 3 under. Patrick Reed, former champ, at 2 under. Webb Simpson, Players champ, U.S. Open champ, he's at 2 under. And then a whole lot of interesting scores. Schauffele and Rahm at even, so they're fine. Let's see, what else? Morikawa's got the even now so far through 10. Spieth is 1 over. He's okay, but that's kind of the way it's been for some of the big names. Koepka 2 over. Bubba Watson 2 over. Dustin Johnson 2 over. Phil Mickelson 2 over through 13 now. Tony Finau 2 over. Rory McIlroy 4 over. Billy Horschel 4 over. Jason Day 5 over. And how about Bryson DeChambeau, who is now 5 over as well. And that's through 12. So, got some problems out there on the course for some of the big names. Nobody's running away with it, although Justin Rose, heck of a player, and 5 under par so far and still has a few holes to play. Tough going out there in round 1 of the Masters. Just a reminder, the Dream 18 card, you can purchase it on ESPN690.com. $69 this week only, so that's a savings of almost $30, and you're already saving hundreds of dollars at local golf courses and local businesses. So go check it out, gift it to somebody, or get it for yourself. The Dream 18 card, ESPN690.com, just $69 and well worth that investment. Brett Martineau along with Austin Lane. Rondale Moore is very interesting to me. Is he as interesting to you as a prospect? 5'7", the guy can fly. There's a physicality to him. And today, Peter Schrager from Good Morning Football did his mock draft, had him really high, going in the early 20s, I think, like 22, and compared him to Deebo Samuel. And I feel like we've had that comp before, right? Didn't we do that with Laviska Shenault and kind of say some of the traits of Deebo Samuel? It's interesting how Deebo Samuel has become kind of this this comparison marker.
Yeah.
You know, the way he plays, the style he plays. But Shenault does a lot of those things. Rondale Moore, the more you read about him, the more you see about him, he's fascinating at just 5'7".
Okay, I mean, look, easy on the Deebo Samuel comparisons, though, because Rondale Moore is 5'7", about 180, and Deebo Samuel is like 5'11", almost 6 feet, 216 pounds, all right? There's a reason why they call him Deebo.
And let me tell you real quickly why I think they're doing that, Austin, is because they feel like Rondale Moore, because of his physicality,
that's the way he plays.
The way he plays, can also maybe go get a ball in the backfield and carry it kind of like Shenault did, or obviously the jet sweeps and those other things. So comparable, no, not in size, but in style of play that, hey, don't sleep on the 180. Much like Shenault, he came as advertised. He delivered. He broke a ton of tackles. It's hard to tackle that guy with just one player.
No, for sure. It's one thing that if you're a fast specimen, a fast twitch guy, but it's another thing when you're fast twitch and you also embrace the contact, and that's what Rondale Moore does. I mean, that's why he's, when we did our dark horses of the draft, he was my dark horse pick. Now, it's crazy how he's going up the boards and everything. It's not really much of a dark horse pick anymore because he's probably going the first round. But just watching him at what he did at Purdue, and sometimes, it's hard when you're a wide receiver. Everything's got to go right. I consider it like Rashad Bateman at Minnesota. Rashad Bateman's a fantastic receiver, but he played in an offense with a quarterback that, he just didn't do many favors. And sometimes with Rondale Moore at Purdue, it was kind of the same thing. But with Rondale Moore, everything was evident. When he had the ball in his hands, whether it was a jet sweep, whether it was a screen pass, whether it was a fly route, whatever the case may be, he made something happen. And it was almost like he had that mentality where he's putting the team on his back and he's like trying to win the game himself because that's the way he ran. Some receivers run smart. Some receivers run with bad intentions. Rondale Moore runs with bad intentions.
I want to see somebody do this study, and I don't want to take the time to do it. But I've hinted at this before. If we watch sports today, Austin, think about the sport you do, MMA. Obviously, it's more notable. It's growing. It's people play it, know it, do it. And so if you go back 20 years ago, obviously the difference is massive. If you take a sport like lacrosse, which has grown leaps and bounds in the United States, same type of thing. I think like overall kids are better at sports because of travel ball specialization and all the rest, size, strength, speed. There's a more focus on it. But I don't know if we've seen this in the NFL and in the sport of football, where I often will say the quarterbacks as a mass now are just better. There's more good quarterbacks than we've ever had. Well, I think it's the same with the receivers. We talk about it less on receivers, but I think it's the same with receivers. There are more good receivers than ever before. Well, there's two big reasons for that. One, people pass more than they ever did. You used to go to a high school game and you'd see 4 passes in a game. How many times did you pass it in high school?
Only when we had to.
Yeah. And by the way, there are still some high schools that do that. They can just run it, and they'll beat you at the line of scrimmage, and they might not have a quarterback that can throw it, but a lot of high schools do. And a lot of high schools have kids that can catch it. And it's just they've opened it up. Kids are aware of it. They're smart enough to be able to figure it out and make those calls and get those calls and execute those calls. But I really think the 7-on-7 stuff has changed everything. And the 7-on-7 with receivers and quarterbacks, I think, have given us this boon on the both positions. The quarterbacks play it better before. They make quicker decisions. They rifle passes. Again, size and strength come into play too. But the receivers, there's so many different types of receivers now that have come through high school ranks, college ranks, and now that's infiltrated the NFL. And there's always been different types of receivers. But it might have been a one-off here or this guy over here or maybe this little pile that you'd put over here as a possession type or a deep threat. Now we have teams that have all 3 or 4 different types of receivers. Mm-hmm. And so it's fascinating to me that if somebody just – and maybe it's not true, but it feels it. And it feels it so much that we love the receiver position because we love passing of the football. And so we fall in love with Jamar Chase and Waddle and Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, and then Rondale Moore and you name it, Bateman. And we know the list all the way through like the 2nd and 3rd round. And really the moral of the story for NFL teams is what the Jacksonville Jaguars have done. You can find really good receivers at pick 38, at pick 44. Where did, what's his name end up going? DK Metcalf. Like whatever pick he was, you know? So, and you find different types of receivers that fit you as well. I think it's become such a fascinating position in the sport, but in the NFL especially, that you used to be able to beat somebody if you had this alpha dog receiver and the rest could just be okay. Now you need the alpha dog. You need the guy that does this, the guy that does that, the guy that can run jet sweeps, the guy that can play like Deebo Samuel. You need it all to be this electric offense and this really good offense in the NFL. And I think the nature of the receiver position, like I say about the quarterback, is better than it's ever been. It's deeper than it's ever been. And I think it makes general managers think often in the draft, because do I have to go get a guy in the top 10 or top 15 when I might be able to find that guy at pick 42?
I just think it's also the fact that the wide receiver position used to be where it's XYZ, and each guy has their own job. And depending on how big you were and how fast you were and what your, what your skill set was, it kind of predicated you to play one of those spots. Nowadays, with how the NFL works is, a Tyreek Hill type can play the X or can play the Z. It doesn't really matter. Like those are just letters now. All they are just letters. They mean absolutely nothing because we've thrown away the preconceived notions of, okay, well, if you're big, you got to be on the outside. If you're small like Tyreek Hill, you got to be on the inside. No, man, you can do literally anything that you want. And I think just the size of what makes a great receiver has changed as well. I mean, back in the era of the Calvin Johnsons and even like Terrell Owens, like listen, Jerry Rice will always be probably the greatest receiver of all time. But what made Jerry Rice such an intriguing guy and what made him such an outlier was because he wasn't that big. So like he stood out just from the standpoint of this guy is the one receiver. He doesn't look like it. But then you watch him run routes, and it's like, oh, I understand. I get why he's so good. And so, like, Jerry Rice, I mean, he was kind of ahead of his time in terms of, don't judge a guy by his size and by his skill set. But nowadays, man, I mean, you can be Rondale Moore. You can be Chase Claypool. I mean, you can be whoever you want. You can be whatever size you want. If you got skills, they're going to find a way to get you the ball.
And I guess the point of my story is it feels like they all have skills, Austin.
Yeah.
It's not an if question. It's how good are they? And most of them are really good. I think it's got some of the most depth of any position we talk about in sports is the receiver position. It used to be one of those positions where you'd take a stab in the 4th, 5th round. I remember that was kind of the philosophy, some 12, 15 years ago. Go pick them in the 4th, 5th round, and one of them will stick, right? One of them's going to hit. And now it's not. And now it's more like I get a stud in the 2nd round. And if I get an alpha, I'm going to go get him in the first round. So it's really interesting how that position has evolved. It's just the nature of the sport that's evolved as well, and it's come along right with it. But I find it fascinating when we talk about receivers, when we break down the draft. There's so many different styles and types and sizes, and they all kind of intrigue me.
Sure.
That's the thing. It's not like, I don't like that guy. He's 5'7". I think it's kind of fascinating, really, at 5'7". Laviska Shenault, to me, is still one of the most unique players that the Jags have ever had on a roster. Now, I want to see more of him, but I think he's very unique. What Deebo Samuel did for San Francisco, very unique. So it's a fascinating position, and how the Jags treat it. I'll give you one more example, too. We just had the interview with Marvin Jones a couple days ago, and in that interview, I think he kind of hinted at it, but he wants to evolve as a receiver. This might have been actually not in the interview. I might have asked him off camera that we didn't share, but I'll share it now. I asked him a little bit about the system of Bevel and how he fits in it, and he said one of the great things about that system for him and coming here to Jacksonville is he doesn't want to just be the guy on the outside running 3 or 4 different routes. He can be the guy in the slot, too. He can run all these different routes. His route tree is more vast than people want to give him credit for, and he wants to show that off. Mm-hmm. And as he shows that off, the touchdowns go up, and his production has gone up. And so he's shown some of that later as his career has developed, and he doesn't want to be labeled. And so I think it's interesting from our standpoint, we still try to label guys, the X, the Y, the this, the that. And at the end of the day, I feel like when you talk to coaches, GMs, and players, they all say I can play all of them.
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, now X, Y, and Z, they're just letters. Like they literally mean nothing because you have to be able to do everything now.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the versatility and the hybrid nature of the sport. Sometimes I don't like that with the offensive linemen and maybe even the secondary guys. But from a running back standpoint, a wide receiver standpoint, you can see, all right, from mismatches, I like it. I like the ability to do to run out of all 3 positions or wherever else and do multiple things. But the receiver position's fascinating to me. I think Rondale Moore is a very interesting pick. I've seen him I feel like I've seen him in mock drafts float from pick 20 to 40. Mm-hmm. And I have no idea if the Jags will be interested or not. But I think he certainly is a pretty interesting prospect. I got a headline I need to read you before I go. You're going to take over the last segment. But did you see this? MLB's Colton Wong takes at bat in tears after getting standing ovation in St. Louis return. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you're going to cry up at bat, that's one way to get in the running for leadoff hitter of the year.
Listen, I know how to pick him, okay? Up there with the MVP award, I get that that's pretty prestigious. The Golden Glove, they give out a lot of those. The Silver Slugger, whatever you call that award, pretty big. But when I label you leadoff player of the year, an ESPN 690 exclusive, an ESPN 690 joint, you better believe that comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of pomp and circumstance. And you can tell right now the pressure is getting to Colton Wong a little bit. But I think he can rebound. Still a lot of baseball left, Brent. Still a lot of baseball. And shout out to the Cardinals, too, who had 2 errors back-to-back and actually let Colton Wong score when he was walked. Not even lying. Cardinals playing trash baseball right now. I can't get enough of it.
Very good. For you, at least.
And can I say one more thing about the St. Louis Cardinals real quick?
Sure.
So, once again, for something different, you know who Nelly is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I interviewed, I'm making sure, covering bases. So I interviewed Nelly.
St. Cruz with Florida-Georgia line.
Oh, done. Say no more. I mean, I'll be honest. He's known for more than that. Probably a little more, I'm just saying, that's not how people usually, say, I know Nelly from that, but okay.
I bet a lot of people do.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm losing hope on society. But I asked Nelly about the St. Louis, because, he's a big baseball guy, right? So I asked him about that. And then I kind of told him, I'm not the biggest Cardinals fan. I'm actually more of a Brewers fan. And literally laughed in my face for about 25 minutes and said condolences and said, man, that must suck to be you, huh? I'm like, okay, Nelly, take it easy now.
Take it easy.
Like literally like just bragging on the Brewers like they're not a decent baseball team. It's crazy.
When did you interview Nelly?
About a week ago.
Oh, so this was like for the maybe for like WAPE or something you were doing.
Never heard of that.
Oh, I thought you pinch hit over there. Maybe
I pinch. Yeah, I'm trying to be the leadoff player of the year over there.
Yes.
and right now I'm Colton Wong crying, so we'll see what happens.
Red Sox, by the way, leading the Orioles 6-3. Red Sox on a roll all of a sudden. So is Justin Rose. Justin Rose just went to 6 under at the Masters. He has a 3-shot lead in the opening round. All right, we'll take a break. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. You and Coos take it in from here. Hey, cruise on in from here.
You just couldn't resist, could you, Brent?
No, I couldn't.
So, you've been hanging out with Stuart Weber too much, haven't you, man?
Yeah,
you and Stuart Weber been hanging out on that backyard fireplace?
No, but that is a Weber kind of thing right there.
Yeah, it's got all the characteristics of a Weber thing.
All right, I'll see you on TV tonight as well, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Austin takes it home from here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 next.
ESPN 690 Sporter Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The cause for Tiger Woods' traumatic car accident was released today. Here is Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
The primary causal factor for this traffic collision was driving at a speed unsafe for the road conditions and the inability to negotiate the curve of the roadway. Estimated speeds at the first area of impact were 84 to 87 miles per hour, and the final estimated speed when the vehicle struck the tree was 75 miles per hour. There were no citations issued, and there are no signs of impairment.
And ex-Florida State wide receiver Travis Rudolph is being charged with first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder with a firearm after a double shooting that left one dead. Rudolph's time in the NFL was short-lived, but he achieved viral fame after befriending a Tallahassee middle school student who was sitting alone at lunch. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair. All one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees, too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Voted best wings in St. Augustine as well. Visit williejewels.com and visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes. At Willie Jewell's.
HBI, a national leader for career training in the building industry, is providing training, certification, and placement in the construction industry for veterans, their spouses, and children that are over the age of 18 at no cost. The following 2021 class dates are being offered: January 11th, February 16th, March 15th, April 12th, May 10th, June 7th. For more program and class details, please call Joe Jones at 407-717-7609 or visit the website at hbi.org.
You've been wanting a new ride, right? But you can't find what you're looking for? Well, check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. They have over 400 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from. Worried about your credit? Well, don't be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
How do you measure the depth of your sadness? What number of arguments is too many? How do you count your sleepless nights? Don't. Count on DuPont Counseling Group at Jewish Family and Community Services instead. Our professional counselors can assist with everything from depression to relationships to children's issues. Trust DuPont Counseling Group to help you navigate life's challenges better. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for mental health. Here for Jags. Learn more at hereforjags.com.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Colhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. ColhainesIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Colhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
The biggest names in sports, coming to your mornings.
Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin, there were so many expectations about Baker Mayfield coming into this season, but what impressed you most about him?
One of the things I love about Baker is how he works. He's a gym rat. He grinds. He wants to be great, and he understands that there's no secret. You can't snap your fingers and it just happens.
The biggest names in sports every morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Welcome back to ESPN 690. Finishing up today as Brent goes to check out, I think it was a softball game today? Or was it a baseball game? Maybe both. Didn't get that information.
Didn't remember.
My bad. I think it was a softball game, though. I'm sure Kaylee's on the mound tonight. We wish her the best of luck. You know, in wrapping up here, we'll quick break down the last little bit of Masters scores. Justin Rose taking a pretty, I don't want to say commanding lead, but he's up he's minus 6 right now. Up by 3 strokes or down by 3 strokes. What is the proper way to say that you're winning in golf?
I would just say winning by 3 strokes.
You're winning by 3 strokes. You're up, you're down, you're winning.
He's got 3 strokes on the lead.
He's got 3 strokes on the lead. Why don't you just do this, Kuz? Why am I sitting here like I know what I'm talking about? But Justin Rose is leading by 3 strokes right now through 16. 2 more holes to go, if I'm not mistaken. Brian Harmon, minus 3. Hideki Matsuyama, minus 3. And then there's a bunch of names I can't pronounce. So we're going to stop right there at minus 2. How are your picks doing today, Kuz?
Not good. Although I guess I'll have to see how Spieth is doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not good.
I can't even remember. Obviously, I think I had Bryson DeChambeau for sure, and we know how he's doing right now. Yeah, +5, not going to get it done. Ooh. And I think I might have had Cameron Smith. I know I had a guy from Australia who lives in Jacksonville now, and it might have been Cameron Smith. Cameron Smith really making me look like a genius at +4 right now. So I'm pretty much out of contention in terms of the friendly wagers. You ever wager on golf?
No.
Never?
No.
Never?
No.
And you're kind of a degenerate.
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing like the 10-team parlay sometimes and these crazy prop bets.
I feel like maybe I've put like $10 on somebody, but like I nothing rings a bell right now. You know, like it's not like a serious thing that I do every year.
Yeah, I've not done golf either. Obviously, I've done like horse racing, Kentucky Derby, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Basketball, but like golf is something that I just cannot get behind. Maybe if Tiger was in it one time, just to like say I'm back in Tiger Woods. But especially like with a tournament like this, I always feel like it's such an open field. You have no idea who's going to win. Like, I guess Justin Rose is one of the favorites. I got it. I don't know much about Brian Harmon. And then I don't know much about, and once again, sorry, dude, but I'm going to butcher your name, but you're in 4th place, so I'm going to at least try. Will Zalatoris? Zalatoris. Yeah, I got nothing. You know, it is what it is. Brent's gone now, so the show goes off the rails. But I don't know who that guy is. I know Webb Simpson, Patrick Weed, and they're up there as well. Reed.
Not Weed.
Reed. You know, I'm just trying my best right now.
Yeah.
As Coos hits the music button, implying for me to go, and that's fine, but I'm going to go when I want to go.
Okay.
I'm going to keep on talking some more golf right now. Xander Schauffele, I know that name. 11th place, tied for 11th, even right now. You going to watch some of the Masters tomorrow, Coos? Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched 1 second of it yet.
It's been on the entire show in here.
Good weather. Trevor Lawrence, what's with the Trevor trackers? Is he having fun at Augusta?
He seemed like he was having a good time. He was being safe. I could see the mask in his hand, so all is good.
Your fiance has the hookup for Masters tickets.
No, don't say that.
No, I'm not.
That's not how.
Well, just come with me now, Coos.
Okay.
Not for me. I don't care. But would you ever want to go to the Masters? Like,
we're planning.
Are you kind of, okay.
We are planning to go next year. Yeah.
So she has the hookup.
Well, she's invited every year. She's invited because
she's bringing you
part of the. Well, she has to find me a ticket.
Oh, so she can't get you in.
No, she has. Someone has to be generous enough to give me a
just
ticket.
Hop a fence, you'll be fine. I'm sure they get like wristbands out or something like that. Well, with that being said, for Justin Coos, for Brent Martineau, and I'm Austin Lane. Have a great Thursday night. We'll come back here wide-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow for a Friday. 1 foot in the parking lot, 1 foot in the studio. But have a great night, everybody. Stay casual. Be safe. Peace.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
It doesn't matter how old we are.